TV on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you always. Hello to everybody in the chat. How you guys doing? All right? Good. I sure hope so. It's Redemption Thursday. It is time. We're good to go. I thought I was going to have a difficult time this week, Tom, coming up with the picks. I don't know why. I didn't feel anything for the longest this week. I couldn't find, other than, frankly, our game and laying the points, I couldn't find anything that I loved this week.
I found it interesting that you, spoiler alert, played the spread there rather than the total.
I'll probably do both in my real life,
okay.
But for the purposes of this, I didn't want two in the same game. So, and you're saying, why didn't you just pick the one that you did?
Yeah, 55.5. Yeah, the total. Just in case there's some nonsense of they still have starters out against walk-ons, that kind of a thing.
That's fair. You're right. I probably should have looked at that closer. I'll bet it. Thanks to you.
I already got it in, locked in.
It's funny. I say I couldn't feel anything, didn't have anything that I was in love with, and I ended up making 27 bets this morning. That's not a lot in a given weekend. I tend to make 30 to 40 bets a weekend. So, so for me, that's like a normal amount because with all the props, Tom, you got all the props to go together.
So, I've never asked you this question about your process. Clearly, you have dozens of bets to monitor.
It's the best. I love it. I love to gamble.
Do you write them down on a piece of paper that you can keep track of and say the noon window of college football or the 1 p.m. window of the NFL the next day? Like, do you have a chart somewhere, or do you just constantly go back to the app and scroll through your plays?
So I have, first of all, if there are Hard Rock bets as opposed to a bookie bet, then obviously Hard Rock has the ability to just my bets. You click on your bets and you can just see and it's in the order that you made them. So, by the way, I meant to ask you, and so I will right at the beginning. Tell me you got paid out at some point again for this Braves bet. I got paid. I got paid for every one of my baseball bets that have come through as of this morning because 4 more happened yesterday.
Yes, Tuesday is when it finally cleared. So even though it said October 30th was going to be my payout date,
you got it now.
I opened the app. I said, "Whoa, would you look at that? Way to get off your butts and clear a bet that's already been cleared for weeks. Appreciate you." But yes, the money is in my account, so thank you, Atlanta. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so there it is.
No thanks to you, Rockies. You did not hit on the over. That was a really bad season bet. I needed 54 wins. They're not going to get there.
No, that's a crazy thing to think about in my lifetime, that somebody could be as bad as they and, say, the White Sox have been these last 2 years. I mean, I never really thought – it's always something to lose 100 games. Listen, as a Pirates fan – I know what it is to have a team who can lose 100 games. We've lost 4 straight, 9 of our last 10. We were officially eliminated a long time ago. We're 65-88. It's been a rough go. But it pales in comparison to folks, the Colorado Rockies, of which Tom and I are referring, who sit at 41-111. 41-111. They're minus 402 in the run differential. 402. There's nobody in the same ballpark as that. There's nobody within 100 of that. That's insane.
Yeah, I needed 54, and I thought, come on, they'll get 54.
They're not going to get even close.
No, I don't think they could play 200 games and it'd be close.
How in the world is somebody 41-111? It's something. I never thought I'd see it. I know we don't usually lead on a Redemption Thursday with baseball talk, but the season's winding down, and it is wager talk on Thursdays, a lot of it anyhow. And that is, yes. I mean, so there's no other team, by the way, in the division that they're in that's under 500. So these poor bastards live in the rich neighborhood in a box. They live in a box, and the rest are 2 stories or bigger all around them. They don't own a car, but the car next to the box parked in the driveway of the mansion that they're sleeping next to is a Porsche. They've got a box, no car, house, mansion, Porsche right next to them.
Do you know what got me to bet on the Rockies other than principle?
You're principle.
Like,
you're just like, they have to.
So, you know how MLB Network does and MLB TV does those little shorts on each team?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning the promo ones, not the full-on programs.
And they try to convince you every team is good. This is
right.
like the NFL films used to do this.
Yeah. But this is the 90-second commercial break thing. I was watching spring training, like, the Colorado Rockies, it should be this year one of the youngest and most exciting teams. I think there's a chance they could win 65, 70 games this season. I'm like, yeah. What's their win total? I looked it up, 53 and a half.
Yeah. You got snowed over by the positive PR machine.
Thanks to Mark DeRosa and the Cactus League broadcast.
Well, they're forced to cut a promo. If you guys don't know this, if you buy the MLB package and you have the MLB Network and you watch games on it, there's a promotion for every team. Every single team in the league has one. It's an easy thing to do when you're the Pittsburgh Pirates because you just promo Paul Skeens. You don't talk about anybody else. You're like, well, Paul Skeens is the best young pitcher in baseball. That's your promo. It's very, very simple. You're not lying to anybody. He is a badass. He's going to win the Cy Young. You're good. When you get to the Rockies, you got to sell something that's not real. You got to say things like, there's they play hard. You're like, okay.
They sold me that bridge in the desert, man.
They sure as hell did, and bought it.
Well, thankfully that play was smaller and more calculated than the Braves play. I put a lot of money on Atlanta to go under 93.5. For the Rockies, I think it was 40 bones. So that it's unfortunate, but nominal.
My process, by the way, you asked my process. So I get up early. You guys all know that. And I start with the coffee. Once I get the kids out the door and my wife out the door and I've walked the dogs, now the day is mine. And I sit down on the computer and I begin to sip my coffee and just enjoy the silence of a household.
The day is mine.
Yes, that's right, Jack O'Brien. And
sorry, that was Sean Connery from the old
but it was
Jeopardy days.
It was a little Jack O'Brien, it's the same guy. Yeah,
the day is mine. There's a Jack O'Brien.
Yeah, that's the Jack. A little bit of difference, but anyhow, so it's mine, and I'm just sitting there. I've got from now until I have to come to the studio, and I typically like to be mindful of, say, your time or anybody else that I have to speak to during the day. So I want to knock out the stuff that I owe to each party, right? Whatever that is. On a Thursday, I owe Tom my picks in a reasonable amount of time so that he can put a graphic together. I don't always do it. Sometimes I fail, but a lot of times, at least within an hour of the show, you have, at the very least, the picks.
Yeah.
So there's a method. I sit down and I go, okay, I'm in this pool and I'm in this pool and I'm in this pool. So the sheet is in front of me. And then I go, well, this is for big money. We got to get serious here. This particular pool is worth a lot of money. I would like to win this one. This one's $25 and who cares? This one's my family pool. It doesn't really matter. It's just a family pool. It's fun. It's the same one my mom's in, whatever. We don't even really, you can win a nominal amount of money.
Yeah.
But then you have the big time pool. So
that's the one with the sheet.
That's the one with the sheet. That's right.
Yeah.
For her. And she clutches it as if it has pearls of wisdom. Anyhow, I don't have a sheet. I just look at the games like a normal person. They're online. You can find them. And then I say, oh, I like this team or that team or whatever it is. And if anything on any of those sheets jump off the page to me or require, I think this is off. I don't think that Vegas has taken into account that their starting left tackle is not playing this week. And I'll go and double check that I got that right, that I read that somewhere along the way or I saw that game properly. Because, you watch a lot of games, you can get it mixed up. Wasn't it Wisconsin's left tackle that got injured last week? You look it up, right? And then you find that out. You're like, oh, yeah, they screwed this up. This is going to be a nightmare for them. I'm taking Maryland. That kind of a thing. And, it's my process. But then I make the bet or I pick the pool and then I get on my Hard Rock app. And if I really like it, I make the actual bet. And I remember what order I made them. And by the time we come on the air, you have a pretty good idea of who's in the noon window, who's at 3:30, who's at 7:30, and all that. So I know pretty much where to find that wager.
I don't know why. I just feel like it's more pleasing to write them down on a piece of paper.
I used to do that. I did that. I think that show prep, this is a little inside baseball, but it's kind of fun. Well, and here you go. This is revealing because it has to do with age. I didn't make the transfer from writing and reading newspapers and writing things down on a piece of paper all that easily or all that well. I didn't transition, I should say.
You were still writing stuff on a steno pad back
Yes.
at the 4-letter days.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, you know why? Because that's how I learn. Anything I want to know, I write down. And if I write it down, I'll remember it always. So when I was in school, if we needed to know something or learn something, this could be math, could be history, could be English, it didn't matter. I would write it down. And if I needed to, if it was something that was maybe a hard concept or weighty and I needed to spend more time with it, I might write it twice, but I would write it, physically writing it out, imprinted it on my brain. Whereas some people can just look at a screen. It's a very modern thing. Like, I didn't grow up that way. There were really no computers early on for me. I was whatever I was, 10 or 11, 12 years old, I guess, by the time the Commodore 64 came out. And then I started using a computer, but not for learning. It was like video games and stuff. So I didn't learn that way. I didn't learn on a computer, but you did.
Yeah, it was a transitional era, though, because laptop technology was okay in my undergrad, but they were still bulky. I mean, these Dell Inspirons that everybody got when they graduated in, say, 2004, 2005, or 2006, they were heavy-ass machines. And so if they weren't charged, you didn't have charging ports. It wasn't,
Right.
So a lot of the time I would just break down it and use a notebook, and it was better. In terms of recall, I can see the word in the notebook better than I can on the computer screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that. I just thought I was a moron.
No.
I mean, there's so many people that can just look
well,
at
if you are, then I am too. So here we go.
There we go. People who I know, well, but if you grow up in this, then you can probably do it. Your brain has already figured it out. But like, I used to tangibly love to hold, a newspaper.
Yeah.
So when I would show prep back in the day, when I first started in sports talk radio nearly 30 years ago now, I would go, this is funny, you guys will remember this if you're in Tallahassee, the old Publix, the old Club Publix on Pensacola Street, it's no longer there.
Yeah, it was a Gold's Gym when I was in college.
Yeah, so that used to be a Publix, and man, what a special Publix that was, I got to tell you.
So was the Gold's Gym.
Man alive. Yeah, so I would go, I bet it is, but if you're my age, you can't go to that gym. You would look like yeah. So
anyhow, calling the cops, man.
Yeah, but I would go to that. I lived right over by there, and I would go to that Publix happily. But in that parking lot, they had, and kids, you won't believe this, but it's true. In a lot of shopping centers back in the day, they had a newspaper island, if you will, and you could also get these in the actual store itself, but the newspaper island might be, the St. Pete Times, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Miami Herald, the USA Today. You could find 5 to 6 regional papers plus national papers, like the old baseball magazine and all those different things. And I would spend like $7 a day just buying newspapers and, taking them into work and then just reading through their sports sections and finding stories that interested me. And I would start to write out an outline, and I would circle things within the paper that I was like, well, I got an opinion on that. That's when I learned you didn't have to have an opinion on everything, was because you were constantly looking at everything. And there would be days where you'd say, I really don't care. I don't care about this thing that they're talking about. It doesn't interest me. I don't have a side to take. There's no insight that I can give with this. It just is what it is. X through that story. We're not using it. Like, that's how but then you teach yourself. You're like, you don't have to have an opinion on everything.
Well, this is why you're a storyteller and I'm more of an analytics guy or analyst type. I would just look at the stats every day. I look at the box scores, I look at the standings, and then I would play if-then games in my head. If a team went, they won 6 in a row, they did this, they did that. Or I'd say, oh my God, Delino DeShields is on a heater. If I'm not mistaken, he was hitting 267 last week. He's at 302. Is he batting 800 over the last week? And then I would look it up, and I would find, yes, Delino DeShields is on a tear.
Right.
You can't get him out. And I wish I could bet back in those days, because I would take the over on 1.5 hits or something along those lines. Total bases 2.5 for old Delino. I just loved the raw numbers. The only stories I cared about were the teams that I loved, like the Lightning. So I'd read every Lightning
those stories because the human interest part of that interested you.
Right, but if Gary Shelton or Hubert Meisel wrote a column on the Bucs, no thanks. I'll just look at the numbers.
Oh, I would read it.
I don't need their time.
I would read it just so I could yell at them. I'd be like, "You cantankerous ass, get it together, Gary."
I used to just put a Pirates eye patch on them, and my dad would be reading the paper in the bathroom, and he'd go, "Hey, stop defacing the paper." Like, defacing
the paper.
You don't even like Gary Shelton.
You're also gonna throw it away later today. Yeah,
you don't even like Gary Shelton.
No, but that's. To this day, I do miss that process a little bit. Like, a Word document is not the same to me. You know, when you're using a Word document or any of the other things that, like a Google Doc or whatever, it's not the same to me. I don't remember it the same way when I type it out onto one of those documents as I did when I wrote it down.
You're absolutely right. So when the Alabama prep was coming, and we're very, very busy as a company, I did create some sheets for myself and for director Nick behind the scenes, so we could lay it all out there. And that's wonderful. And he's in his 20s, so he likes that, and that's the way he works. But when I set my day, man, I got a notepad, and I have an impeccable pen on the table at the house.
So that's another thing.
So it doesn't bleed over. There's no blotting.
Can't
none
have
of that.
any of that nonsense.
No,
I won't use a pen if it does it. But if you find the right pen, you will hold on to that cherished pen like a dear friend. I
swear to God, the anxiety level goes down 40 to 50% after you just write out what your day is going to look like the night before for stressful times. So I have times it's like 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. You write it all out. You're like, oh, I don't have to worry about it anymore because all I need to do is pick up the notebook. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's the greatest. But if you do it on a computer, you don't feel that way at all. In no way, shape, or form do you get that satisfaction.
So it's really easy to, copy and paste something of information. So, for example, you can go this week, the quarterback injuries, right? I don't need to write that down. I can copy paste that Joe Burrow's out for 3 months because he had surgeries. J.J. McCarthy is out likely for the next couple of weeks with the knee sprain or the high ankle sprain.
Purdy's in trouble this week.
Purdy's in trouble.
Justin Fields is out.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is out. Jaden Daniels may be out. It could be Marcus Mariota. Justin Fields is out. I copy and paste that kind of stuff all day. But if it's things in which you're deriving an opinion and you have sort of an outline that you want to make sure you hit on certain points, that's what I want to write down. That's what I want to write down as opposed to copy paste, obviously, because of your own thoughts. That's not just a piece of information that you're reminding the audience of. Whereas something like this is a piece of information that you're just reminding your audience of for the hell of it. Favorites finished 11-5 last week, straight up, 9-7 against the spread. Road teams went 9-7 straight up, 11-5 against the spread. Road teams kicking ass left and right. Overs bounced back at 10-6, despite two different Monday Night Football unders.
Right. Yeah, so week one was an underfest. Yeah.
So you can go back through all this. Last week when we were doing this, 10% of teams that start 0-2 make the playoffs. There are 10 teams that are 0-2 currently. So you're asking yourself, all right, a couple teams got a shot at it. Which of those do you think will? That, and it's kind of fun that way. I then write down my notes on how, and I never got to it this week, but it's remained in my notes about how I kind of feel bad for like Burkhardt and Rinaldi and Aaron Andrews, because now that this whole situation with Tom Brady, their other cohort, has made the news, they're never going to get any insider information. All of those production meetings are so valuable to those broadcasters and writers, all of them. That this is they get the meaty stuff. Coaches and quarterbacks will tell you things in those meetings for context purposes, and also they'll say, look, you can't use this on the broadcast, but when this happens, you'll know why. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Their left tackle, right? And then they give you that nugget, and you have to wait. And then when he goes down due to injury because he was playing through a calf strain, you're already aware of it. The team kept it quiet, but the announcer now has really useful information to go with as soon as something happens. He's got a story to tell. They're not going to get anything for fear that Tom Brady's going to have it and walk right over to the Raiders and tell them everything about it. And it affects the way that they view free agents. It affects everything. I don't know how the NFL let this happen. It's insane. It's actually a much bigger issue than people realize. It pisses me off, quite frankly.
It sounds like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ben Johnson tried to play it down this week by saying that he's been in coach speak mode since the back half of preseason camp, because the Bears play the Raiders the week after Tom Brady's on the call for America's Game of the Week with the Bears. And so people are asking, hey, coach,
Yeah.
You've got an owner from your opponent next week. He's going to be in the booth with you this week or in a production meeting. He's like, I ain't telling him anything.
Well, nobody's going to tell him anything anywhere at all for the reasons that I just laid out and what you just said. There's no chance now. So I would be angry. If I was Burkhardt, I'd be like, this is a problem, dude. I used to get real information. And you came around.
It's all right. He's on the alpha team, and Brady won't be there, I don't think, but for another year or two.
It seems that way, although that is a hefty paycheck to walk away from. And by the way, one could argue, and talk about, again, another conflict of interest. When you make $300 million from Fox, and then you turn around and invest 10% into the Raiders so that you can be a part owner, it's almost as if Fox paid for him to be part owner of the Raiders. Dude, we can keep going with this.
The only thing that pisses me off is he complains he worked too much last week. And he meant it. It was a joke, but he meant it. Like, you're put out, man. All right. Yeah. You worked really hard there, Tom.
We'll get to wagers. We'll get to FSU. We'll get to football talk. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Attention all sandwich lovers. Café de Martín is bringing Peruvian fire to your lunch break with their all-new summer sandwich combos. Asado that melts in your mouth. Fried fish so fresh and crispy, it snaps. And smoked pork or chicken? Yes, please. Comboed with Peruvian fries and an iced tea for just $15. Available Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 3. Upgrade your lunch at Café de Martín in the Espositos Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Facing Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Parker McCollum.
With the man I am, what kind of man do you
Live 2025. Friday, September 26th. Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Multi-platinum selling artist Parker McCollum. Special guests Ashley Cook and Cassie Ashton. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Parker McCollum Live.
FSU football is back, and every game means another chance to win the Garnet and Gold Score Contest on the Greg Tish Show. Listen and call in every Friday morning with your FSU score prediction. If you nail it, you'll win some great Garnet and Gold gear every Friday morning from 6 to 9 a.m.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, so it is. If you would, flash those babies up on the screen so we can get our picks out there. I like that you've gotten more descriptive over the years. You've got to let everybody know the deal. What's what? You have the little message there. Jeff's spread bets on the left.
Because a lot of people claim victory when I'm saying on a Monday. I go, no,
you lost, man.
It's on the left.
Yeah.
That's his side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Maryland. No, you won't.
I've got Maryland.
You can't.
You can't. I have Maryland. Well, I mean, you can, but it's just not a game that you would bet me with.
I
charity.
beat you, Jeff. No,
you didn't.
You didn't.
You didn't. No. Maryland plus 10 against Wisconsin. I don't know why Wisconsin would ever give 10 points to anybody. They're just not any good. Give me Maryland plus 10. Illinois plus 6 against Indiana. I'm thinking I'm getting duped here. This line was 3. It's now 6. Is somebody really good for Illinois missing?
That's what that looks like.
I mean, it has to be that.
Yeah.
I took it immediately because I think Illinois is better than Indiana, but I may be getting duped, admittedly. Michigan minus 2.5 against Nebraska. I think Michigan's better. I think they'll shut down Nebraska's offense. Washington minus 19.5 against Washington State. That's a pity kind of bet. Watching Washington State just be hapless like they are makes me sad. Not that I have any kind of love for Washington State, but them and Oregon State are now both just messes. If you wanted to, you could throw in the Oregon bet over Oregon State. I didn't include it in my list, but each week it's kind of like, man, Washington State and Oregon State, the poor bastards that hung back there and tried to hold it down for the Pac-12, just gutted. FSU minus 45.5 against Kent State, laid it. As Tom points out, you could also and should also, if you're going to lay the points, take the over. TCU minus 6.5 against SMU. TCU, one of the 2 or 3 best teams in that conference. I like them to beat SMU.
That feels like a sucker line, too. They're begging you to play TCU, and I agree that you should play TCU.
And I did. But you're worried we're getting duped there, too?
Yeah. What am I not seeing about TCU?
I like Kansas, man. They have the loss to Missouri, but Missouri's pretty good, so I don't look at that loss as anything negative, and I think Kansas is good. I'll lay to 12.5. I think that was kind of flukish last week with West Virginia. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Pitt, that is, up 10, just letting that thing slip away. But damn it, man. I feel like the Bucs are the walking wounded and then some. This has that game, that frustrating game written all over it where you're just watching going, we're going to lose to the Jets. Like, you're going to be mad, but you can't be mad. They don't have anybody. I mean, the Bucs are injured at every level. It's insane.
Lost our guard for the season.
Yeah.
So Gedeke's out multiple weeks. Tristan Wirfs maybe back in a week or 2. Starting guard out for the year. Abuka's going to be out for this game. Chris Godwin's not ready yet.
McMillan's out.
Man, I'd take 13-12. However we win, 9-6.
Oh, if they win 3-0, it's a great win.
2-0.
I mean, a win is a win is a win. You'll take it at this point because you're trying to bank wins while you get healthy. That's all that is. So I know the Jets aren't any good, but I actually feel like the Jets got a favor done to them, and that is that Fields got concussed, and they get to start the better quarterback in Tyrod Taylor. That pissed me off. I was like, no, start Fields. I know. Fields played well in week 1, but I'm starting to think the Steelers' defense just sucks. Thomas felt that way for years.
Well, it's true.
Jacksonville minus 2.
Look at their last 7 playoff losses.
Jacksonville minus 2.5 against the Texans.
It's substantial.
I think Jacksonville's a pretty good team, I tell you. Now, you got to fight against the desperation of the Texans, and they will be desperate because 0-3 you ain't coming back from. But 0-2, they're probably thinking, we could. But Jacksonville, you're better. Win the game. Tonight, you know you want to give it up, Dolphins. You give up that Keon Coleman anytime touchdown. Come to daddy at plus 170. Give me that anytime touchdown to my man Keon Coleman. You got nothing to play for in Miami. Your season's a wrap. You hate each other. You hate the head coach. You haven't won a playoff game since 2000, quite literally. Good God. Let it burn.
You weren't yet 30 years old.
Let it burn. Yeah, so that's another way to say it. I was in my 20s the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game. Sweet Jesus. That's a toughie. I'm sorry, Dolphins fans, because this isn't me being mean to the Dolphins fans. It's just pointing out the ineptitude of the Dolphins. That is much to my dad's chagrin.
I was 13.
I mean, that's something to think about.
Because that would have been January of 2000, yeah? So I was
December, yeah.
Yeah, so I was 13 years old.
Brutal. Brutal. I mean, let that linger a little bit. The Bucs have won 2 Super Bowls in that time.
That's correct. Yeah.
Not one, but 2 Super Bowls in that time.
The Red Sox and Cubs have won World Series in that time.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox have won multiple World Series in that time. The Cubs finally broke their streak, and they got one as well. Yeah, I know. Think about that, Dolphins fans. That's brutal.
Boy, if you're a Dolphin, Kane, 2000 was a,
that was it.
That was it.
That was how she wrote.
There you go.
They burned it to the ground.
After that, it's an Ohio State pass interference, and not so much after that.
It's a whole lot of sucking. I mean,
you might have gotten hosed on that call. I'll even give you that 24 years later.
Yeah, you did get hosed on that call. Tough luck.
Since then,
bad break.
The whole football postseason thing, not so good.
Nope. They absolutely said peace to any kind of football success down south right after that season. Man, that's a toughie. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Who's now?
After months of uncertainty, nearly 1 million. Lotion and towels. Donations will be accepted in the main lobby of TBD headquarters. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frobley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 92. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 69 tonight. Clear skies. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 93. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 89.
The 2025 hurricane season is here. Are your gutters and drains up for the challenge? If not, now's the time to call New Vision Gutters. Your trusted local team that keeps water out, no matter what the skies throw at you. Full service from top to bottom for gutter repairs, gutter installs, leaf and debris guards, drainage fixes. We handle it all. Don't wait for the next big storm to find out you've got a problem. Call locally owned New Vision Gutters today. We keep our minds in the gutters, so you don't have to. Online at newvisiongutters.com.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do.
I'd like that.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You know, by the way, we were just talking about the Dolphins. We were talking about the NFL and some of these wagers towards the end there, and I gave you those spreads and numbers from a week ago and who did what. I noticed, I read a stat earlier that NFL, well, first of all, you see all those injuries at quarterback. And you know the league's panicking at this point because you can't have quarterbacks going, especially star quarterbacks, going down each week, let's say. And Jaden Daniels is a star in this league. We'll see. He's going to be fine, it looks like, but he's out. Joe Burrow is a star, and now his career is in jeopardy. I was reading one of the doctors that they consult on, I think it's Yahoo Sports, was saying people don't realize how serious a turf toe injury is, that when they hear it, you hear somebody's big toe is hurt, and you're like, come on, man. Big toes hurt. Lock it up. Let's go. But turf toe is really serious, and they require surgery. And oftentimes they'll tell you that you're going to be out for 3 months. Sometimes it's more like 5 months in the recovery process. And then the doctor goes on to say, and most people who end up having that surgery never regain the toe to a fully functional status. Like it becomes permanently altering physically. Your ability to move around and run and do the things you did as an athlete. Remember, Joe's a good athlete. He was a really good basketball player and all this other stuff in high school. It's crazy to think, like, you just hear turf toe, you go, he'll be all right. I don't know. And he keeps getting hurt all the time. And his career is going that of Andrew Luck's way. I mean, this like 6 years in peace, I'm out. You know, it's a little disconcerting. Well, anyhow, I say all of that to say this. The NFL average for sacks per game this year is at 4.7, nearly 5 per game. That is a lot. It's way above last year's average. And last year's average was 3.2, I think it is. If it continues to trend in that direction, we got a problem. I mean, they can't protect quarterbacks. Edge rushers are the best athletes on the field. And when you see them and you see some of the freaks in this league, you really are reminded. Remember when we talked a lot about the kind of the changing of the guard for what a corner was or what a secondary player was, and you have these freakazoids, the Derwin James of the world, the Jalen Ramseys of the world, to bring it back to FSU.
Cam Chancellor.
Yeah. Right, yeah. People that should not be able to run that fast at that height and that weight with that length and all of that. You know, you see that now. And that was required because of the bigger receivers that were coming into the game. And it's the evolution of the sport. You got to find more freaks because the guys on the outside are like, Randy Moss. We got a problem on our hands. These little corners aren't covering him. I don't care if he tells them where the route's going. So you had to figure out something. Plus, they needed him to come up in the run game, all that stuff. And usually this goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But edge rushers is where it's all changed to me, because if you just look at every kind of freakish athlete on defense in the league, the place you start is usually at defensive end to find that guy where you're like, oh, he's 277 with not an ounce of fat on him. He's got incredible flexion with his ankles, and he can almost be parallel to the ground. He runs a 4.5 40, and he's 6'6". Like, what? Who is this thing that we're trying to keep from getting to our quarterback? It's crazy. And I remember going back to the 90s, mid-90s, late 90s, where you started to see more of those kinds of guys in the league and thinking, that's a special kind of player there. You don't say that. You don't see, like, remember Javon Curse and guys like that, where you're like, good God, man, that doesn't seem normal.
What I'm noticing is defensively, it's not just because Tony White's doing it. You watch what the Falcons are doing, what the Bucs even did last week.
Oh, with that,
what
that
Houston
fake blitz
does.
and stuff.
Well, yeah, you bring the mug. You mug the front, so you got linebackers up at the line of scrimmage. But also, I'll go wider than that because that speaks to just over the center. Adding a fifth guy, and it's something that Collinsworth actually did a pretty good breakdown of on Sunday Night Football when he was dissecting the problems for the Vikings. What was going on with their offensive line, which they have people that are banged up too.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how adding a fifth man to the front creates all kinds of communication breakdowns and potential issues if you're not on your P's and Q's. You're seeing that a lot. You talked about it earlier in the offseason that the fullback is making his return to football.
That's correct.
because
gloriously.
Because secondaries have gotten specialized and linebackers have gotten more athletic, and so you want to bring a bruiser to counter more athletes and smaller athletes on the field.
You want to get him out of the defensive standard, which is having 6 defensive backs these days. It's crazy, right? I mean,
well, and Tony for Florida State adds a 4th guy to the front with the jack linebacker, but sometimes you'll see 5 and 6 up there at the line with the mug or whatever that he's going to do. That to me is much more in vogue. It used to be it was 3 down or 4 down at the line of scrimmage, and you don't even have to have your hand in the dirt. 3 or 4 guys. Now you're seeing 5. Now you're seeing 6. Am I coming? Am I dropping back in coverage? All of that stuff.
It's the old 5-2.
Right.
I mean,
right.
That existed throughout the 80s. It was a thing, and then it kind of became a 3-4 in a way, but those just stood guys up.
Right, exactly. In a 4-2-5, you could stand guys up too, but the extra body at the line of scrimmage is becoming in vogue here, and I think when you like to go spread and wide and leave only 5 in to protect, you've got a real problem.
Yeah. The give and the take is fun to watch. Football will adjust. It always does. Coaches figure it out. But the way they're figuring it out now to get you out of these dimes and nickel packages that everybody runs is to say, oh, you want to sit back and dime and nickel all day, do you? All right, here's 250 leading the way. Let's have that 210-pound guy see if he can take that on. We may go back to having linebackers that looked like linebackers. I mean, back when we grew up where you're watching a guy like Marvin Jones.
Right, thumpers.
Grown-ass man out here killing people. You're like, look at that beast. I mean, he's got a catcher's mitt for hands. 255 pounds of pure get you some, right? But that went away. You started seeing the hybrid guy. There's nothing wrong with that. It just adjusts with it. And then now, I think we're gonna end up seeing those guys that are built like a blank brick house.
Well, also you're going to be looking at different protections. You brought it up with the Jake Browning example. How when Cincinnati doesn't have Burrow, they'll leave more in to protect the quarterback. Yeah, I think what you're going to have to see here. If I'm the league office, I'm saying you don't have to leave 5 in, guys, or 5 in a running back who's going to get run over. You might want to leave 6 or 7 in sometimes to protect in these situations because you're going to get killed.
Well, Cincinnati's got a conflict here because when they have Joe Burrow in the game, they trust him to know where he's going with the football. He's a brilliant processing quarterback who knows what he's looking at and what a defense is trying to do to him. So they trust him to do more quickly. So they go empty because he's got elite receivers. And they're like, look, now listen, Joe, we got to pick it up here. I mean, we got nobody else to help you here. And he doesn't always do that because he's tough and he'll take hits, but you got to take it out of his hands. No, we're not going to do that anymore because the offense is actually Browning's not a better quarterback than Burrow. Everybody knows that. But if you look at their numbers, they're more efficient on offense when he's running it than when Burrow's running it. There are fewer big plays, but they're more efficient per down.
Typically empty is supposed to indicate to you that it's going to be a quick pass because you don't have the time. Usually empty is quick game.
Well, he's got to stop holding the ball.
But sometimes quarterbacks, they're waiting for that extra double move or whatever it is.
And I like the toughness, and that's cool to know that that's in you and that if we need it, you'll sit there and take a shot, literally take a shot to take a shot. I got it. That's cool. I need that in you. I want my quarterback to have that. You just can't do that in the first quarter of week 2, man.
Right.
We're trying. We got a long season.
Always doing that.
Yeah, we don't need to do that every week. Hey, I was happy to see this, and I didn't get to it before, but NCAA, good job. Here we go. Here's something that matters that they did and got it right. They've eliminated the spring transfer portal. It's gone. That's it. That's all. Peace. No more spring transfer portal. It's now moving to a single transfer portal window. And, listen, when the free agency is open remains undetermined.
It's going to be January. It's just a matter of, I think the initial proposal is for 10 days from January 2 to 12, starting on the 2nd. I don't know how the midnight.
2 to 11, I think it is.
Yeah, right. I don't know how the midnights work, that kind of stuff where it kicks in or what time zone they're going to use. But I think they might expand that out. That's what it sounds like the debate is down to now. Maybe you need 15 days in January versus 10. You might need that. Do they continue the provision that if a coach is fired, you get an automatic 30-day clock? That's up for debate.
Well, but I think that's going to stay.
I would think so as well.
And that should stay.
It should.
I was always for that. I think everybody is. Yeah. I mean, we always thought it was ridiculous that a coach could up and leave a place without any penalty whatsoever.
Yes.
They could go make their money and go do whatever they wanted to do. And the same kids that committed to said coach are screwed and have to be left behind. And they're like, you're stuck, can't transfer. No, that's not what you do.
Yeah, right. If I'm going from Mike Leach to Paul Johnson and I'm a receiver, I'm just out of luck, huh?
Tough luck,
that's
buddy.
great.
Yeah. No, not going to do that. So I think that'll stay. And that includes right now already some coaches that have been told to have a good day. Virginia Tech, UCLA, those players, you can have at them.
Apparently, we're in on a defensive back from Virginia Tech per on 3.
You know, they were always, I think, going to have to move in this direction, Tom, because it was unsightly, quite frankly, to have a situation in which the season is ending and you're in the playoffs and guys are like, listen, got to go hit the portal. Dude, we're in the semifinals. Yeah, but this is the window. I got to let it be known. I'm out. That was never going to be a good look for college football.
No, so I do want to go through this really quickly, though. What you have right now is the clock for you, the player who is in a semifinal or a final, does not begin until after your season is over. So after you're eliminated. So you can have an extra window that others don't. As it stands right now, the CFP quarterfinals, we all know, is going to be on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The semis, man, are going to be on January 8th and 9th. And then the championship game next year is January 19th. So for players on the best of teams, you're still going to get into the latter part of January. But for everybody else, potentially you could be done before the 15th of the month.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Absolutely.
Well, remember last year, Ryan Day brought up his concerns while they were in the playoffs. And a lot of people, you know, think what you will of Ryan Day. A lot of people were like, yeah, he's right. And I found that quote. He said, to be in the conversation that we had with Big Ten coaches, I think the majority of us agree. I just don't quite understand how teams that are playing in the playoffs are expected to make the decisions and sign upcoming players while they're still getting ready to play playoff games. It doesn't make any sense to me. Right. No, it didn't make any sense to any of us. So good. We got that fixed.
I see in the chat, Spartanol says the transfer window should be in February. If you could allow for a provision that allows somebody to transfer from one college to another in February, I mean, they already relaxed the rules academically enough for football. If you could do that, I would be for it. But the reason they're trying to anchor this thing
is because you forgot they're supposed to be students.
They're supposed to be enrolled in classes. Yeah.
You forgot, Spartano, that there's a class element to this. I agree with you because,
because they have to be in for spring ball.
Student athletes are.
That was the point of contention where the SEC capitulated on 8 versus 9 games. The thought was that the Big Ten was not going to come off of the spring window that they were demanding, something after spring football. But once the SEC went to 9 conference games, I think that was the understood that now we'll flex it back to January for the one-time transfer portal window.
You know what's funny is somebody brought it up in our chat, or maybe it was in a question to us a while back, a couple weeks ago. When was the last time you saw somebody before a game announce that their player had been ruled ineligible or out for academic suspension or academic reasons? You used to hear about it all the time.
Sure.
People got in trouble, failed their exams, whatever it was. Oh, not going to play in the bowl game. Oh, damn it, man. You got to pass the test, buddy. We need you in the game. Yeah. No,
it's been a minute.
It happened to us back in the day. Was it that Snoops thing? I think it was.
Oh, I thought you meant the oversleeping.
No. But yeah, that it used to be a thing, and you'd sit around and hold your breath around that time of year where you're like, oh, I'm not sure Philip's the sharpest knife in the drawer. Let's see if he makes it through this semester.
It also used to be that you would sweat being ineligible for a violation of team rules because of the break that kids went on over the holidays, and they'd come back, and perhaps there was a little bit of testing that was done, and you go,
you mean Christmas break featured some weed?
I believe the unicorn was allegedly involved in some of those potential violations.
The unicorn, indeed.
Yeah, unavailable for the game.
I always liked the unicorn, though, just because knocking people's teeth out on your rival is always going to be fun.
Hey, man, and Miami crossed that line with DeAndre Francois. Quite a few teams did, but Miami especially. And Matthew Thomas said no more. Brad Kaya, it's your ass. And as they throw me out, I'm going to give a thumbs up to the crowd as I walk out of the building.
Fantastic.
Because I'm a Knoll.
I always will love him for that. I used to get mad because Jimbo would prattle on about what a freak of an athlete he was, and he was never available. You're like, well, that's great. Is he running around Tom Brown Park? We can go see him there? Like, what? When the hell are we going to see this guy
right now? Let's go.
Faster than anybody. But, yeah, and it wouldn't do us any good. I feel like, well, great. Sure, he's doing stadium steps, too. Very impressively, I might add. But, yeah, he's not playing.
I feel like he also, in that same building, made a play against Michigan. Like
Probably.
a big hit in a goal line set, something like that. Where you go, oh my God.
Well, I remember thinking about him that, look, that's a dude that could end up having it didn't happen, but he could end up being a guy that has like a 10-year NFL career just because you're a freak of an athlete. You had all your problems in college or whatever, but the NFL doesn't care about any of that. Like, look at that dude. He can do what we need him to do up here. We just got to keep him from going to prison. All right, we'll do it, and or whatever else bad habits there might have been. But yeah, that's the thing you worry about. They'll take a chance on anybody, quite literally anybody. You could be a starting wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins who strangled his pregnant girlfriend. They don't care.
Don't care.
They don't care.
Can't prove that he broke his toddler's arm. Can't prove it. So
you heard the phone call. You heard the taped phone call.
I don't know. What I do know is that when we see one high, we're going to let it fly.
Oh, that's what I know, because he can run. Man, can he run?
It sounds like the final verdict on the portal is coming down in the next month, the next 4 weeks, in terms of the hard dates that we will have to be paranoid 24/7.
Pitch a Penny Pools and Spas have everything you need for pool maintenance: chemicals, cleaners, pumps, vacuums, nets, covers, you name it, they got it. We all know they already have the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the entire city. Now Hot Springs, the company that does all that, coming at you with the cold plunge tubs. They got them over there at Pinch a Penny off of Greer Road. Go check them out. Have an amazing hot tub or cold plunge tub is not out of your reach at all. Go see them today on Greer Road. Find out for yourself how easy and affordable it really is. Pitch a Penny Pools and Spas. If you're ready to relax, they're ready to show you how. Hour number 2 coming up. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Makes Paul's Termite and Pest Control the best in North Florida?
It's our core values, of course, and they happen to spell Paul's.
P, protecting you and your pets from pests and your property from termites.
A, accept personal responsibility. At Paul's, we realize it's up to us to get things right and strive to do more than's expected.
U, uphold company values. Those values include treating others with respect and understanding we represent Paul's Pest Control on and off the clock.
L, look the part. As representatives of this great company, we will always make sure that our image matches the character of Paul's.
S, support the team. Every job we do is a total team effort to create a supportive workplace.
P, protecting you, your pets, and your property. A, accept personal responsibility. U, uphold company values. L, look the part. S, support the team. Paul's core values. They make us the best.
For the elimination of termites and other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Hey, everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Right, that's Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
More bad injury news for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's been a bunch of that lately. Starting right guard Cody Mack, he is dealing with a knee issue, and after he underwent medical testing, it is clear that it is a serious enough issue that he is not going to be able to play again this year. The team does make a small move as they are signing offensive lineman Dan Feeney off of the Bills practice squad. Also, defensive lineman Kalijah Kancey, he has been officially placed on injured reserve. He is likely done for the year. Buccaneers are getting ready for a game against the Jets coming up on Sunday. Also on Sunday, the Jaguars will host Houston tonight. Dolphins are in action as they play on the road against Buffalo. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Honey, Flash, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
This fall in Tallahassee, sink into a night of worship and wonder with the Grace and Glory Tour with Crowder.
So lay down your
Thursday, October 2nd at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Get ready for a night of grace and glory featuring passion music, Louis Giglio, Gary Hobie Carnes, and Cody Carnes. Thursday, October 2nd at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Come be part of something unforgettable. Get tickets now at tuckerciviccenter.com.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
This is G. Deckeroff. In 1979, my friend Guy Moore opened his first store. Over 45 years later, Garnet and Gold is still providing the Seminole Nation with unique ways to show their spirit. As the last locally owned FSU merchandise source in Tallahassee, we're proud to be a part of the Florida State experience and this community. If you're a Seminole like me, this is your store. Garnet and Gold. Go Noles.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
up. Starting with tonight, Keon Coleman, anytime touchdown, plus 170. Go for it. Jacksonville, don't do me wrong, Bucs laying the 2.5 against the Texans. Put them out of their misery in week 3. There you go. Jets plus 7.5 against the Bucs. That way, if I lose the bet, bravo Bucs. If I win the bet, I'm like, I kind of figured that would be closer than it needed to be. College bets, took Maryland plus 10, Illinois plus 6, Michigan minus 2.5, Washington minus 19.5, FSU minus 45.5. TCU minus 6.5 against SMU. Kansas minus 12.5 against West Virginia, not Virginia, Virginia. Hey now, yes, I'm getting more bullish on some of these other games. I like OU over Auburn as well. Didn't put it in my list, but
I am on. Yeah,
you on that one too?
I don't know if that's a good thing in our track record if we're very much on the same games, because I could not agree more about TCU, SMU.
Mm-hmm.
I like Oklahoma over Auburn.
Me too.
In a significant way.
Well, let's test the theory. I got another one for you that I didn't include here.
Okay.
And it broke my heart to do it. Who do you like in that Utah-Texas Tech game with the number being 3.5 Utah?
Don't know enough about either side to pick it, but clearly you're picking Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I don't know about
with the hook.
Yeah.
With the 3.5, I am. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully my boys from Utah take it and dominate. It's noon on Fox.
Is Miami, Florida still 7.5?
Yeah, and I was probably going to go in with Florida on that plus 7.5. You were too, weren't you?
No, I think if Florida,
you got to gauge whether or not they care.
Correct. If there wasn't noise in the system, absolutely. I play Florida 7.5, but I could see this one getting away from them in terms of sideline problems and Billy might not make the flight type of stuff.
Well, yeah, this is why I'm not actually betting the game. I don't like to bet a game in which I have to wonder aloud whether or not the team cares to play it.
Feels like a bowl game these days.
You know, you're kind of like, well, if they care to be there and they play real hard, I'd like them to stay within 7.5. But I can't guarantee that they care to be there and want to play real hard. That's an issue. Unfortunately, it's an issue we know about. We watched it play out last year, and we thought, oh, my goodness, the horror of something like this. It is also, Tom, one of the unintended consequences of paying players. I have my money. Yeah, that's a toughie.
It is indeed. It is. I'm looking also at the 3:30 window. I find it interesting that the number for Tulane Ole Miss continues to tick towards Ole Miss. It was 11.5 earlier in the week when we discussed this. Now 13.5.
Well, what's wrong with Tulane? They got injuries? What's going on there? Because I like Tulane in that game at that number.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm wondering, will it push further? Will it push through 14?
Could you get through 14, buddy?
Also, the total in that game is just 61.5. We got weather problems? What's going on here?
Well, you got your guy. Enlighten us, buddy. Reach out to your weather guy.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, let's find out what the hell's
Doesn't
going on.
that feel low?
Yeah.
That feels like 38-31, 38-35.
Yeah, I don't like it, Tom. I don't like it.
Something
It's
strange.
got a bad feeling all about it.
It has Tulane injury feeling, much like your Illinois-Indiana feeling.
Well, Illinois-Indiana has been a weird week. It was 3, then 4, then 5.5, then 6, 6.5. Then I'm like, what is happening? Does Illinois have multiple starters out for this game all of a sudden? That's good for the Big Ten. I mean, I don't think I had it on my bingo card, as they say, that I could have told you a year ago. You know, that 2025 Indiana-Illinois game is going to be a humdinger. I was just looking for a reason to say humdinger.
Is there any other kind of a dinger?
It's a humdinger. But, yeah, that's good for them. Good for them. Good for the conference. Not that I care anything about them. Nebraska-Michigan's a good helmet game. Good uniform game.
Oh, absolutely.
So's OU-Auburn.
That's the split title game.
That's it. Yeah, you're right.
The second one of the year because we opened with Georgia Tech,
Colorado. That's correct. Yes. That was a thing, kids. It happened back in the day. But I actually would dare say this week is filled with cool uniform games, meaning not necessarily that the team themselves have a cool uniform, but the matching of the two uniforms is cool.
How about UAB Tennessee?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
UAB's unis are awesome.
Ole Miss Tulane. That's a good one, too.
Both of them use the baby blue. I'm sure that means that Lane will keep it with the home field.
He should. But OU Auburn, Good uniform game, man.
Yeah,
Good
very
uniform game. I'm curious, what does Miami wear against Florida? Will they wear their traditional?
Do they have a traditional?
They do.
They love to mess with it.
What they ought to wear is the forest green with the white pants at all times.
Yeah.
Remove the orange as much as possible and wear the forest green with the white pants. That's a good look for them. That forest green is tight. That's a good look. And you ease. And Florida should wear white on white all the time with the blue trim. And if they don't, they should wear the blue pants with the white top. There should never be an orange pants or orange anything.
Yeah, I just checked, oddly enough. Vomited in my mouth a little bit. I went to the Miami Hurricanes Twitter feed, and nothing about the unis so far for this weekend. I wonder if they do it like we do it. We're like 5 hours before the game, like, oh, that's what we're wearing today. Okay.
The Bucs uniforms this weekend, buddy.
Hey, I've got my Mike Evans white 50th anniversary uni in tow.
So I'm not, because I'm in my 50s, I don't wear jerseys. But I don't have a problem for those of you in your age group that do.
As you said, my generation has owned it.
You guys were the jersey wearers, and I'll let it slide. It's not my cup of tea. But it works out well because you guys like to do it. Yeah, you do it. I won't do it. But you know what I did do? Because I wanted, when the Buccaneers made the announcement of the 50th anniversary unis, and I knew they were going to get back to the white on white, which is so beautiful, just regal, sparkly. I was like, I gotta have a part of this, but I don't know how. What am I gonna do? They make the shirts like the regular shirts with the 50th, and it has Tampa Bay, and it's just got the orange accents with the white.
Nice.
I bought one. It should be here today or tomorrow. It should be waiting on me.
So I look forward to when they create the white uniform that inverts the number color. I know what they're doing. They're honoring the first uniforms, but the white creamsicle uniforms that I remember had the red number with the orange outline, with the creamsicle outline. So I look forward to when they flip that, and I'll buy that too.
They got us.
But the neckline, it's just for you to see. So the neckline inside of the jersey says, hey, Tampa Bay.
Oh,
and it's embroidered.
Sweet.
It's a really nice touch.
What a nice move that is.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Bucs video for the 50th anniversary that Spurrier narrates was phenomenal. You know, Spurrier can't read the copy worth a damn. He sounds ridiculous. Like you wouldn't ever have him narrate anything. But it works in a charming sort of way because he was the poor buffoon who'd had to take a beating at quarterback for the Bucs. And so you're like, okay, have the ball coach do it. All right, that's fine. But it's a great video.
It also kind of makes me appreciate the Bucs more that Spurrier had to go through some physical pain with our organization. Isn't that nice?
He had to wear it, yes, and then became an elite coach with the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Here you go real quick, the visual. Here's what the collar looks like. See?
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Well done. A couple questions in here that I want to get to. It feels like a Libations Friday to me, even though it's Redemption Thursday. Jeff, so you think the team could get distracted by Tony White rumors? No, I don't. I mean, they'll be aware that their coach is somebody that is extremely well thought of, and it happens. But they've locked in here. They're running this defense, and if this is the only year they have with him, they'll want it to be a great one. And so you go to war for the guy. He did a lot of things right when he got here, but I think the number one thing that he did was be pretty damn transparent about what he wanted and what was required. I felt like we were a little too malleable with the rules last year in that football program. Things were either not punished and thus rewarded that shan't be ever.
The mic was on.
Yeah.
I laugh behind the scenes, people.
It should not be at any point ever for a football team to be what we were a year ago in terms of effort and that kind of stuff. And they let him get away with it. And it became a blank show. But Tony came in right away with sort of this, hey, look, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what you will be required to do if you want to play. And he had the gravitas and background to step foot in the facility from day one and lay it on the line, because when you're a former linebacker in big-time college football and we're a really good player at a position that requires you, there are no soft linebackers, I assure you. So, well, some are better than others, Tom. Some aren't very good.
Right.
But they're not soft. They're very rarely do you make it to big-time college football or certainly professional football by being a soft linebacker. May not be good. That's a different thing. You may suck. You may be too light, but you're not soft.
Sure. Just that specific position, our history the last 10 years.
We've had some dudes that aren't up for it, aren't good enough.
We've had some guys who made decisions on some plays.
Right, but I don't think they're soft. They weren't good football players.
Ooh, it's a block. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll catch it. I'll catch that block. So anyhow, my man is tough, and he demands it of his players. And I think that, like I always say on the air, I've said this over the years, I think this holds true. It's just a truism about, raising kids too. They actually want to be disciplined. They want to have a set of standards that are known to all and that you live up to. And, you want that kind of consistency in your life. You need it. Whether you like it or not is a different question altogether, but you need it. And once it's understood what it is and everybody has to accept it and plays to it, and there are repercussions if not, then you've got a chance. And it's got to start there. And Tony came in right away and got that done. And we knew from the first time we talked to him, I remember you and I both, the first time we ever spoke to him, I was like, I'm impressed with that dude. I walked away after a 7-minute conversation. It began with him commenting on my golf shirt, and it ended with me thinking, well, we got us a good one.
There's just an enlightened look that he had. There are certain coaches that, and that doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be a good game day manager, but it just felt like we needed a teacher who wasn't set in his own ways, but was willing to and was capable of connecting on a level with a lot of different people. Like 10 minutes of Tony White, and I feel like, and I love you, Gene, he could connect with Gene Williams, and he could connect with a player. That is a broad spectrum of people to connect with, and we're somewhere in between, more on the Gene spectrum of how you connect with different people across different lines. Because in order to make it as a head coach or a high-level coordinator, you have to be able to deal with establishment, booster-level people, and then also true freshmen who don't have any idea what they're doing with their lives, and they've never been pushed. And Tony in 10 minutes is that guy where you go, oh, okay, he can connect. What was the one knock on Adam Fuller? Well, what was one of the biggest knocks on Adam Fuller? Awkward around the kids.
Didn't connect well.
Much easier for him to talk to a transfer candidate than a high school kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he could reach an older, more mature person in a way that he couldn't reach a 17 or 18-year-old. Tony has it, man. Whatever that is, he can connect across the generations. So that's why he's a strong candidate. But it does sound like UCLA is considering somebody who's more established for that job.
Well, I think they're in a desperation mode right now. This is to our advantage. Look, I don't want to hold Tony White down. I want him to get the dream job that he desires. But I want him to get it 3 years from now after kicking ass here during that time. And so if you're, maybe not rooting against a guy, but rooting for your own best interest as a Florida State fan, you're saying to yourself, well, UCLA, it may be that Tony White's your best candidate. Maybe. I don't know that. Maybe he is. Certainly worth interviewing. But it may also be that the powers that be are going to say, no, we have to get a guy that is an established head coach, somebody who has had success. Their process, I think, ought to be just like Mike's process this past offseason, which is, all right, I'm not staying away from the portal. I'm going right back into it. I've had a lot of success with it, but I made some fatal errors a year ago. I was able to bank on a veteran player, but I surrounded him with the other guys that we were hoping could be good football players based on their recruiting pedigree. So the fact that they were recruited by Alabama, they were recruited by LSU. They went to those programs, initially committed to those programs, but had not established themselves as good players at all, hadn't achieved much of anything at all. But we're going to guess that they will because they were 5 stars or 4 stars coming out, and they wouldn't have been recruited to those places if they weren't good football players. So come on in. I'll take a chance on your talent and see what you become. Oops, that's a mistake. Turned out those guys didn't develop, didn't become good players, and were in the portal for a reason, is a way to look at it. Instead, this time, we want guys that have really shown on film. I got it. I've seen it. This guy has kicked ass in college football games. You know, Elijah Herring led an SEC team in tackles. I know he can play. He's done it. And then he kicked ass the following year at Memphis. So, I've seen him. I know he can play. I don't know if he's a fit, but I know he can play.
Right.
Don't worry about the fit later. I know he can play.
Yeah, you would raid the best of San Diego State, Cal, San Jose State,
Dudes
Washington
that have
State,
shown it.
Oregon State, all on the West Coast. You find all those guys, Colorado State, all those new Pac-12 teams, the league that you just left. Go mine those rosters for the best available players and start your slow build from there. You won't be able to flip that overnight, but that's a nice slow build. But you would have to bring in a head coach who understands that he's going to empower.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. You would have to go get a guy that has done it, has had success, has proven as a head coach that he can do this. You just took a chance on a guy that you just had to fire rather quickly. This is where it's to our advantage for those that want to see Tony White stay. Even if Tony White were the best candidate, I think that they would say, he's never been a head coach. I don't know, and we can't take a risk that it's too much for him. I got to know that this is going to work. I mean, we are in the dumps here at UCLA. We suck ass. We're going to have to do something like desperate here and get a guy who has done some good things.
That's right. Preach.
Sydney Sweetie Fan Club. Hypothetically, if Tony took the job, would FSU elevate Surtain? And what base system do you think he would run? No, I actually think that we would elevate what's his face that we brought in from
Arnett.
Arnett.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Arnett is your backup plan
because he's run the 3-3-5.
He has indeed, and
he's
he has
from the same tree.
According to people in the circles, he's been significant in his contributions to what we're doing this year. That's not me suggesting he's doing more than Tony White. Do not get me wrong. Do not misconstrue. But
no, you want every coach to contribute.
Yes, his input has been significant, more so than I think Surtain's, in the sense of he knows how to coordinate from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. Jags Knowles contributed. Thank you. I think ESPN chose Florida and Miami for game day so they could have an excuse to not visit Tallahassee for FSU Miami. We've already had Miami on game day. Cowards. Well, we'll see. You can't put it past him. I don't want to summarily dismiss that, but I don't think that's what that is. I think we're going to get that game. I think game day is going to be here.
They've followed the same team to multiple locations. If it was the same campus, I think you'd be in trouble.
Well, that's correct. They would not go back to 2 and 3 weeks at the same campus. That's correct.
Yeah, you've seen Big Ten teams, ACC, SEC, Big 12.
As long as they're highly ranked.
And they could be in a different place. So you catch Ohio State in week 1 on a neutral side, or in this case, you caught them at home. But then you catch them playing Michigan State because it's a big game. Okay, that has happened before, and a lot. So I think your 2 contenders are Alabama, Vandy, oddly enough, because that'll be a top 20 matchup right now. If they pick that's weak sauce.
I don't think they want to waste that bullet in any game that involves Vandy. Not yet, anyhow.
I don't think they do either, but they have made weird decisions before, like this past game. I think it's because the Big Ten was the next best matchup. They didn't want to go against Big Noon again.
Well, you wouldn't have gone Oregon, Northwestern. You're talking about the beginning.
No, I'm talking about this week. I'm talking about Indiana and Illinois.
Oh,
I think that's the best matchup on the card, but they don't want to go to the Big Noon location for the same thing. I don't think, because that's objectively the best game of the weekend if you're trying to pick as game day.
Bloomington.
The other thing that you're going to be guarding against is the weird game that they'll go to the Dakotas or something, and they'll pick this weird nondescript game, and then we will get the 7:30 window for ABC, but they want to celebrate some strange thing that doesn't get enough exposure.
Which I typically actually applaud. I like that they do that. I like that there are some small schools that have hosted college game day. I like that they've highlighted, because we love college football, period, across the board, and the history of it and all of those things. But man, it's a Florida State-Miami game where both teams, and again, this is assuming that both teams take care of business. Miami wins this weekend against Florida. Florida State, not just this weekend, obviously, but takes care of business on the road against Virginia in their ACC opener. If all of that plays out accordingly, and both these teams are in the top top 7 at the very least. How could you not?
I think, honestly, if Miami wins this weekend, it's a lock.
It's a lock because Texas-Florida was the only other matchup, and you wouldn't do it.
Right. And even if you tripped up, which I don't think is going to happen, but if you tripped up, still Miami's a top 5 team, and it's Miami, Florida State. It's 2 top 25 teams, in-state rivalry, and Miami now is this thing that they can show off because they love to do that for whatever reason.
I know we got to go to break. I want to tell you, I saw it again here. Another one of these things that I've brought up on the show over the years, how I told you many times, if I ever get a chance to be a consultant, the way I was for those 6 months, it's the best life in the world to be a consultant. You don't have to know nothing about anything, and you get paid handsomely. Almost every consultant that's ever been consulted is a fraud, stealing your money. But I want to be one. I want to be one of those frauds that steals your money and just has consultant on my card.
You have to learn phrases like, that's great, pal.
But there's another role that I want to play, and it's happening in Tampa Bay, and I'll explain it in a moment. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Attention all sandwich lovers. Café de Martín is bringing Peruvian fire to your lunch break with their all-new summer sandwich combos. Asado that melts in your mouth. Fried fish so fresh and crispy, it snaps. And smoked pork or chicken? Yes, please. Comboed with Peruvian fries and an iced tea for just $15. Available Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 3. Upgrade your lunch at Café de Martín in the Espositos Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which sees the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Nicely done, Hawaii. Long snapper, sports talk, and consultant. Sports talk is not easy, though. It's a great job, and I love it. But it's not easy. To do it well, anyhow. But here you go. Yeah, that's correct, live spectator. Kawhi Leonard was indeed a consultant, as we're finding out.
Well, we're going to know when your talk radio, sports talk / consultant era has begun, because you'll say 850-386-8255, 850-386-8255. We now go to Thomasville, and we're talking to Roy in Thomasville.
Yeah, and we're just going to let
Jeff's done.
Jeff is done.
Jeff has called it a day.
He's just letting the callers take the show. And, hey, you could be a multimillionaire doing that. You know, ESPN's got a guy that doesn't have an ounce of talent. And he just turns it over to his redneck callers, and they say something that's usually not discernible. And then they move on, and he takes the next call. It's amazing. Good gig if you can get it. I'll give him that. So here's what I was reading this morning, and I thought, another job that I want. Top Rays executives stepping down on the eve of the team's sale. The Rays are about to be sold to Jacksonville real estate developer Patrick Zalipsky. It sounds like you're tripping. Zalipsky. Cool.
It does.
Doesn't it sound like that?
Yeah.
Patrick Zalipsky. And in anticipation, I should say, of that deal closing, the old guard is making way for the new. Specifically, Rays team presidents Matt Silverman and Brian Auld are stepping down. They are going to be moved to an advisory role. I want to be an advisor. That is an advisory role. Oh. You're not working. That's nothing. You just are on retainer. You're paid a certain salary, and maybe once in a blue moon, in this case, never, they'll call you and ask for your advice on an issue. That's it. What a great gig. It's a little bit like being a consultant, only you're an advisor.
Have you ever been on the board of an organization before?
No, I don't want to be. I'd get into fights.
No, it's like that, though. If it's a proper organization, they fly you down, they feed you.
They don't bother you.
They ask for your vote, and then you're in, you're out. It's a free weekend.
I can vote from the hizzy. I don't need to be flown into a city to vote. I can vote from right here. I don't need to fly to your little place.
That's your one contribution, but they'll pay for it. You know, that's it.
Yeah, but I still have to deal with the rigor of travel, and it sucks.
Doesn't sound like you want to be a consultant.
No. Well, I can be a consultant. If the price is right, I'll put up with the flight and all of that. I mean, man, let me be an advisor. Yes, I'm going to step down, but I would like a salary, a substantial salary at that, to advise you if you need it. Who sells that and gets away with it? Man, okay. Sounds good, Bob. Man.
That comes with a threat. I think that is the capitulation to a threat, because you're saying, well, once my NDA is up, I'll be happy to take all of our secrets to this organization that could sorely use them. How about an advisory role? Outstanding. Sounds wonderful.
Perfect. 6 figures a year, advisory role. Oh, and I'm going to need the condo downtown to remain in my name.
Yeah, and sweet tickets, 6 of them for all games that I need.
I've got grandkids these days.
That's right. Nobody's coming here anyway.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's the gig. Yeah, Jeff, we're going to need you to fly to Tallahassee to El Paso for this board vote. Yeah. And I was a consultant between the 1270 and ESPN days. And I remember absolutely loving that was the way we had to go about it when I resigned from 1270.
That was a really strange time.
When I walked from 1270 because they didn't believe I had other job offers, which was weird, or they did, but they didn't want to pay me.
I think that's a bellying up that we should do. Talk about your experiences for those 6 months and my experiences for those 6 months, because we got stories about laying the groundwork for ESPN and 3 to 6 and ESPN and the Camathon, but all the technical stuff behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a couple of sports events that you would have loved to have covered, but you couldn't, like Laux to Snare.
Laux to Snare, and fast forward, Laux is our head coach who is currently crafting the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country for 2026. That is insane. It was a layup. Well done on your part. You got to be kidding me. I said this before. I know we're in the middle of football season. It's so hard to pivot to anything to do with basketball, but you can't ignore what's going on. This is absurd in a glorious way. But, you know, I saw the tweet last night, I think it was, or Instagram post anyhow, where Florida State has the number 1 ranked class for 2026. In my lifetime, I don't think I would have ever guessed that was possible. Right?
I'm going to sing In My Life and karaoke about this team.
They'll get choked up. It's crazy to think about. And I hate that we have to wait till 2026 because you feel like the other shoe's going to drop. The balloon's going to pop. There's no way that they're going to bring in the number 1 class in the country in college basketball. There's just no chance.
No, I don't think they will, but they'll be a top 10 at this point, squarely. A lot of uncommitted 5-stars will start racking up rankings above Florida State.
Yes,
but for now, my God.
I mean, every day. You're just like, oh, well, there you go. There's Colin Paul. There's Brandon Bass. There's this guy, that guy. Anyway, he's a 5-star. He's a 4-star. What? They're coming here? Really? You feel like it's a practical joke that we're going to get the rug pulled out from underneath. There's just no way. But, I mean, there is a way. He's working hard, and he has been fantastic in terms of putting together that staff and having the relationships and then knowing the money people and asking for it. Asking for the money. We need this, this, and this, and you want to help? Basketball needs to matter here again.
You will be recognized for your help in any way that I can make sure that we do this.
You know, by the way, it does, and this is pertinent. You talked about it because Peter Collins told you and Ira before you guys had him on in that, was it a Monday Smash or whatever it was?
Yes.
Just that there's going to be money put into the facilities.
Yes, he mentioned that during the course of the live broadcast.
Yeah,
yes, he did. Absolutely
Yeah, you
right.
didn't have to worry about that. Yeah, he mentioned it. He did. He mentioned that.
I think
because
basketball,
he was on the backdrop of being asked about sorry-ass Hauser. Now, listen.
Which he thinks should be renovated.
Oh, and never touched. That it should stay there, be renovated instead of bulldozed.
See if we should get 5 minutes with him where you can just talk to him about Hauser and be like, no.
The thing about Hauser is this. I love Hauser. I'm nostalgic for Hauser because of what it is and what it represented for me and going to those games and being in that stadium for some incredible moments. Some of my favorite sporting moments ever are in that stadium. And there was a time where, in terms of college baseball stadiums, it was upper crust. Way back in the day, there was a time where it was great. It got passed over many moons ago and then continued to be passed over, and far lesser programs, sorry, insignificant, nondescript programs throughout the country ended up building better baseball stadiums than the one Florida State plays in. And that pissed me off, and I've brought that up many times. And as I've said many times also, when I go to cities, if they have a college, a big college, it doesn't have to be big, it could be just a college that I've heard of, I like to visit campuses. And one of the reasons I do is not only to check out the library, which is number 1 on my list, but I always then go look at their facilities to see the baseball stadium, the football stadium, the basketball stadium, you name it. And it became troubling to me that no matter where I went, no matter what school I was at, if I went to check out their baseball stadium, I was like, oh, this is nicer than ours. Damn it, man. They've never achieved anything here. They have nothing. They don't even have an All-American that's ever even played here. But their facility is 5 times nicer than ours. That's nonsense.
Do you believe a little bit more than a renovation, maybe a 2-stage renovation could be successful after what you've seen at Doak?
Well, I'm so impressed with Doak, obviously, and I'm so impressed with what everybody who worked on that project did and have done. I'm going to get a chance this weekend again to be in the Loge Bucs. Tom, I didn't.
Oh, you're going back?
I'm going back.
Of course you are.
It's going to be fun, but nonetheless.
I thought you were doing the post-game show and I was going to the Loge Bucs.
No.
Did I get my signals crossed?
Crossed them up. Go back and read that email again. But anyhow.
I really thought it was a slider.
So, I have. You could. I think it makes more sense to put the stadium over there where they now park on the intramural fields, have it across the street from College Town. It just seems like the Rivalry would be great. You just have the opportunity to go in, have a good time, and you come out of there, you Medicine Social, you walk across the street, boom, you're right there.
Right. You can add parking lots where Hauser currently is.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any plans to do. In fact, I know there aren't any plans to do that. And we know that instead they're going to put lipstick on a pig. But you could, if you go all in, build more like to where the state, what's that road? I always forget the name of it.
I'm talking Stadium Drive?
Stadium Drive,
yeah.
So the one behind right field.
Oh.
Not Stadium Drive.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, see, you don't remember either. Whatever that road is.
It's just the road.
It's just the road.
That's
the road over there. You get
that
to
gets
the road.
you to Leach.
Yeah, it gets you to Leach. That's how you say, you know the road that gets you to Leach, that road.
By the circus?
Yeah. That one. Yeah. Parking lot with the circus, yeah. So that road, if you put bleachers there, the way a lot of the stadiums do now, and you let students sit there for free and yuck it up and be able to have beer and all that, that would be cool. That would add to the atmosphere. Now, I know we can't do that.
There's not much room.
There's not a ton of room.
I mean, there's hardly any. You can maybe get a row or two, and that's it.
Be very cherished seats. But also, we got the problem with the green monster.
You could stack them. You could stack them kind of like an indoor driving range, right? I mean, you could have levels to it and do it that way. But I don't think you could have proper bleachers. I mean, it's like 10 feet of room. There's not much.
I had a dream that I was on a massive driving range last night, and it turned from enjoyable and cool to terrifying, quick, fast, in a hurry. So in the dream, I'm hitting balls at the range, nondescript range.
Hit them okay?
Just hitting them fine in the dream, and beautiful weather. And I'm looking out at the scenery, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm saying to myself in the dream,
beautiful cars.
I'm saying to myself in the dream, this is a massive driving range. My God. I mean, it's huge. It just went on. The field went on forever. And it had the netting like they have at Top Golf down the left side.
Yep.
And it was like the huge netting. And I'm looking over. I'm like, oh, right, this is going to kick. And I'm the only one out here. And there's something special about being by yourself on a driving range.
Oh, for sure.
It's fantastic.
Hey, you mentioned Club Publix earlier. The one thing I live near,
You can do it.
Gaines Street Publix.
Yeah.
It's not the old Club Publix.
Right.
But you go there on Sunday at like 7:45, all the kids are asleep.
Yeah.
It's your own private experience.
Own Publix. That doesn't suck. Yeah.
That's the way.
So I'm hitting on this infinite driving range, and I'm like, this is incredible. And I look back down in my dream, and I see that I have 2 large buckets of balls. I'm going to be here forever. I can just sit out here and enjoy the weather. It starts to get dark very quickly. Like it just starts getting dark. Like I've lost track of the time. And, I'm a grown-up. I can live with nighttime. I'm not like 7 where you used to be scared when it got dark out. I was like, oh, it's getting dark. I have to head to the car. Then I hear a noise. And I can't pinpoint what it is. And I start looking around. And this is the problem with dreams. Out of nowhere, I'm having this wonderful time. And now something's stalking me on this infinite driving range. And I don't know where my car is. I'm looking everywhere for the parking lot to see my car. And I can't find it. And I keep hearing these noises. And I actually, oddly, am wrestling with whether or not I owe it to the driving range to take these buckets of balls back. But now I'm fearful for my life. So screw them. And these balls are going to sit here till tomorrow morning. If I can find my effing car. And so there I was. And yeah, it woke me up 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, sat straight up. Who has a bad dream about a driving range?
It was Yippius, God of the Shanks.
What am I?
He was coming for you.
What is that? Go ahead. All the Freuds out there, figure out what that is. I'm on the golf range. It's gorgeous. Nobody's bothering me. It's quiet. I got a bucket. I'm set. Something's stalking me. Yeah, freaked me out for a good hour. I just got up. I just said, screw it. I'm up.
I hope that doesn't mean that you feel that things are about to be bad for the football season.
No. Things are great.
Because the football season is a
going
private,
very well.
beautiful, expansive driving range.
It is for now. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A person is now in custody after fleeing from the Georgia. Some of the charges included felony fleeing, attempt to elude, and DUI. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 92. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 69 tonight. Clear skies. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 93. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 91.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? It says, keep off the grass. Oh, but I just wanted to feel it. Excuse me? I wanted to feel what it was like to have an amazing lawn like you do. It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn.
For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567.
Stay off my lawn.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Wow, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Chieftain Way. Thanks, guys. Tom and I could not remember.
You could have given me 2,000 guesses. I would not have gotten that.
Well, as soon as you read it, you go, oh, that makes sense. That's right. It is Chieftain Way.
For me, I thought, that sounds right. Sure.
They could have said anything. It's Wilson's Way. Oh, good old Wilson.
Could have said Osceola Parkway. Yeah, sure. Osceola Parkway.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, sometimes roads don't make sense.
Chieftain Way. That is correct. I just now checked my phone, and there's like 7 texts. Chieftain Way, a-hole, Chief. I'm like, hey.
Was that like part of, I don't know, orientation? Did we get a test? What are all the roads on campus?
I can remember where the roads used to be, and I can remember what was in place of where the thing is that's there now was, and all of that. I'm always walking around campus. Whenever I go over there, I'm like, I wasn't here. You used to be able to walk through here. You can't walk through here anymore. This was a road. That building didn't exist. This was a fraternity house that's been torn down, is now a parking lot. This was, it's crazy. And the longer, you don't have to wait very long. I mean, I think like 4 years out of school that started happening, and let alone 20-something years out of school, you're like, good God, this is not anything close to what it was.
Look, I mean, the only thing that was near campus that was a place that was, moderately to upper level good to live was Southgate. If you were off campus, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was Southgate. And now Southgate is ancient as hell, and you have all these other places, the college town thing.
You're
it was all
slumming if you're in Southgate now.
You had university cycles, dirt lots, and a warehouse.
Everything. I remember when they were building all those apartment complexes because you used to go the back way to go to AJ's, and you'd cut over it behind the bank. And then they started building up everything, which later became that sorry-ass Winn-Dixie parking lot. But that's...
You mean on Tharpen High?
Yeah.
That was not always there?
No.
Oh.
No.
When I was there, it was already established as the Winn-Dixie, and the Brugger's that I would go to for years and years. I would open that place up.
There was a Brugger's where the Winn-Dixie is?
So where the taco place that we really enjoy
now. That taco place, the original kick-ass taco place is gone.
Oh, really?
It's a new taco place that's good, but not as good as the old taco place that Alicia showed us.
Oh, that place. I know what you're talking about.
That place whooped ass.
No, this place that's over there right now.
Not closed. It pisses me off that it did.
The one that's over there right now whoops ass.
You and I went there and ate a taco together.
It's still there. It's right there. Trust me.
Yeah, I believe you, but it's not as good as the previous taco place. It's just
well, that was where the Brugger's was. Anyway, the bar side, they've got the order in the kitchen side. The bar side was the Brugger's. We would close down the bar, and then we would open up the Brugger's at 5:15 or 5:30.
Did Chris own it?
I don't know.
Chris owned the other one on Monroe that's still there, and he owned the other place too.
There was this
on
nice
Appalachian Parkway. There was a Brugger's.
There was a very nice middle-aged lady who always worked Saturday and Sunday mornings, 4:30, 5 a.m. I'd see her. She was a big Mets fan. That's all I know. And I'd walk in there beleaguered, in between Xbox games.
Janine used to work there. Do you remember Janine?
I don't know.
Janine ran all the Brugger's in town. She was kicking ass.
Might have been Janine.
Loved
very
Janine.
nice, but then she'd be working a very tough shift.
Janine worked hard. She was a hard worker. We got a question. Jeff, Tom, do we think this basketball recruiting is a Nick Nolte and blue chips type thing? Guess it doesn't matter with NIL. I was just about to go there before I read the rest of your question. Doesn't really matter, does it? Tractors, as I recall, for the one guy in in blue chips. But, cars, chicks, tractors, cash. Who cares? Whatever you got to do. Basketball has always been just a den of iniquity. It is. I mean, everything about basketball is crooked. It's amazing. Everything from the AAU circuit to all of it. It's all crooked.
Everything but the baseline.
And, it's just a matter of how dirty you wanted to get. But I don't think it really matters anymore. It's just sort of, you can offer a guy a contract.
Well, and it would need to be NIL because rev share is only going to go a very small portion of the way. It'd probably get you a quarter tank of gas for what you need.
Yeah, for what you need.
Maybe a little bit more than a quarter tank, but yeah, that's the thing. NIL has to be acquired. And it sounds like Luke is doing a good job of acquiring said NIL.
You know what basketball does have going for it, and I have found this out, and I'm watching it play out right now with Luke. One of the things they have going for them, and listen, I don't want to paint a picture like basketball's like we're set up here at Florida State the way they are at Kentucky or Duke or UCLA or wherever. We're not that, no. But there are a couple of major, big-time Florida State boosters, money guys, that absolutely love basketball. One of those guys, I won't get into who's who, but one of those guys, billionaire, has always loved basketball, but was kind of out on an island. And, what are you going to do? Just be the only guy that helps fund the basketball program? You're the only guy who's contributing as an FSU alum who's a booster and all that. But he, I think, really was excited by the potential with the whole NBA approach. And recognize that he could help get a new coach off to a good start. And I doubt that he's going to continue to contribute to the extent that he's been asked to early on. But to get the ball rolling, to get momentum being returned to the program. We had lost our momentum. Leonard had it rolling for a long while there, lost momentum as he got older. By the way, one of my favorite aspects of all of this, and Luke is to be commended for this, and so is Leonard to be commended for this. The practices I've been to, only a couple, but the last one I was at was on a Saturday before our game. And they do a great job of creating atmosphere. But you know who's sitting courtside? Leonard Hamilton. And he's welcomed to that building like the King of Kings. And he's beloved. And it's legit. And he gets a chance to talk to recruits. He gets a chance to talk to recruits' parents. He gets a chance to talk to big-time boosters, the big money people. And he's in a great mood when you see him.
He's an advisor of sorts.
He's an advisor, but he's actually, an ambassador. I would call him an ambassador.
Better term.
And he is so happy because I think, A, they've genuinely wanted him around, and he's taken to it. Obviously, you get a chance to kind of be part of this program that you helped build and love, but you don't have the stressors of having to coach it and live it 24 hours a day. You can kind of come and go as you please, be an ambassador, talk to parents, help ease their mind. Obviously he recruited and coached Luke, so they've got a great relationship. Just good to see. It's good to see that worked out the way that it did. I loved it. But I think that a few of the big money guys really want to see this thing get rolling again. They'll probably have to pull back at some point. You can't keep giving to this extent. But, can you get it rolling and then it begins to recruit itself a little bit?
Sure, it begins to recruit itself, and then hopefully at that point you're in a Power 2 where you have this extra money rolling in and you can move some money around. The rev share will always be the rev share.
Right.
However, if you have a lot of money that comes in, you can get creative. You get creative with how perhaps magically the NIL budget increases because you have $30 million extra coming in from the TV contracts.
Big noon is in Salt Lake for Utah versus Texas Tech. Did you know that?
Oh, so game day could have gone to Indiana, Illinois.
They could have done it. Final hour, forthcoming. It's live. We'll be there with you in a moment. Stay with.
To spice things up, Tallahassee, slide into the all-new Tallulah Love Shop, your one-stop pleasure palace. From sensual toys and steamy couples kits to luscious aphrodisiacs and pheromone perfumes that whisper yes. And don't forget the THC slushies, flower, 7-0 kratom, and sweet edible treats that hit just right. Grab your partner or come solo and see the all-new Tallulah Love Shop at 1530 Mahan Drive. More love, more fun, always at Tallulah.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
That chip turned into a crack? No worries. Better call Seminole. We'll fix your glass faster than you can say road trip.
Road trip?
Mobile service, expert installs, and no headaches. Call 850-539-4527, 850-539-4527, or go to SeminoleAutoglass.com. Your glass, your rules, but seriously, better call Seminole.
Seminole Autoglass.
Hey, Nole fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
WVFT Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
The Bills Sunday at Everbank Stadium, a 1.5 favorite over the Houston Texans, 44.5 the total in an NFC South showdown. Tonight in the AFC East, the Bills look for their 13th straight win at home against a divisional opponent. They're laying 12.5 against the Dolphins, 49.5 the total. College football coming up on Saturday. Miami, a 7.5-point home favorite with the Florida Gators, 50.5 the total. Florida State laying 45.5 at home with Kent State. And North Carolina, a 7-point dog at UCF, total 47.5 at the FBC Mortgage Stadium in Orlando. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Our office computers were from like 2012.
What? They had computers then?
Yeah, I don't know much about new tech.
Apparently.
So I went to Staples and saved big on an AI-powered HP laptop and HP OfficeJet Pro printer, which also came with 3 months of free instant ink.
And we're back in this century. During Staples HP Tech Event, save up to 35% on HP printers and up to 40% on AI-powered HP PCs.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. Into 11/1 select models only.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASC trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Harnessing the power of the sun, delivering the highest quality drinking water, we are warming homes and fueling industries. Day and night, rain or shine, the City of Tallahassee Utilities is working for you.
Did you know backup generators often lack the power needed to start an AC unit? Installing an EasyFlex soft starter from E&B Heating and Air can reduce startup current by 75%, allowing your AC to run without a larger, more expensive generator. Visit embheatingandair.com for more info.
Broadcasting Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Talk FM. Thanks for supporting local, the only locally owned and operated radio station in Tallahassee. And thanks for watching on YouTube, Warchant TV. Good times. This week has kind of flown past for me. We got football tonight, buddy.
Thankfully, we do. Yes. I was asking you in the break if you ever in the summers felt this time and this urge to get back to school. Like maybe in August, because we used to go back in late August, early September. They didn't change this to this all year round schooling until after I got out. That's how I feel about this bye week and this next game. The way the schedule is laid out after Alabama, I'm like, all right, summer's over now. Let's get to this. Let's watch this team play. Let's get into the groove, into conference play where stakes matter. I'm really excited to be watching us this weekend, but this is after winning, I feel like the weight has been harder than if we had lost the game to Alabama.
Well, I agree, because the burden was lifted and a certain freedom given in the moment that you realized you were not going to have to deal with the hurt again. You were going to now see something that you did enjoy watching. And, well, when there's something you like to do, you want to, do it. So I think that's where it's at. You realized we weren't sure. We wanted to believe. We all hoped and invested financially and emotionally in a lot of cases. All right, this can't be it. We got to be better than this. This can't be the end of Mike Norvell's time. Like, this can't be it. Really? Is that what we're going to do here? But you knew that we would get some real definitive answers early on this year about what was what. And the fact that we came out and I think blew our expectations out of the water in many cases, certainly mine. I thought Alabama would beat us, and so did almost everybody, and that's fine. And I'm glad to have been a part of a sizable group at that was really wrong. That's great. But once you get past that, once you've kind of been able to digest that result and go back and watch the game again, which we did many times, and you realize there's nothing flukish about this. They're just good. They're just executing well. They're prepared. They're physical. They're all the things that we weren't. So now you know it. Now you're like, oh, the boxes are checked. It becomes a search to find out just how good, not whether you are good, just how good are you. And that is exciting. That's something that leads to anticipation. And so, yeah, I feel that every bit. I feel like we've been off for way too long. It hasn't been that long. We just missed this past Saturday. Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed having Saturday to do what I did. You loved your Saturday.
I did, yep.
And so it was nice. It's a breath of fresh air. It's great to be able to relax and watch other teams play and let them be stressed out and let the results of their games matter to them and not really affect us all that much. I loved that. But I was ready by Sunday. I was like, oh, I'm ready for football.
No, agreed. I think it was the watching of the other teams that also contributes to this feeling of, oh, these other guys there aren't these hidden juggernauts that are out there relative to Alabama's going to, let's just say that Alabama's going to have a very disappointing year. They've looked good since we beat them.
They've looked great since we beat them.
Yeah, they've done everything they possibly could, right? Since we've beaten them. But if you just think that that's the case, then you start watching other games and say, well, was Alabama a fraud? Like, are these other teams that are in the top 10, top 15 doing something that we didn't see from our opponent in the first game of the year? Then you watch those games and you go, no, we belong amongst this field. Okay, I think that expedited the process too. If it's, we didn't just score highly ourselves on our own test. We might have scored highly relative to everybody else who took the test.
Everybody's test, yeah. Our score may be amongst the elite.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I think that's true because you've had a chance to watch, as you just said, a ton of football. Since we played, you've had a Thursday night game, you've had a Friday night slate, you've had a full Saturday slate. You even obviously
you had the 3:30 after our last game because the game was over. I mean, the game was over by like 1:00, but the game was truly over around 3:15. So you had that evening, that night, essentially 2 full Saturdays of football.
And when you do this little exercise, you're back to doing this little exercise, which is great. Whenever the coaches poll is revealed, I sprung that one on you, Tommy.
You sprung
the coaches poll on you.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
and there it is.
The coaches poll.
There we go.
I thought I retired it for the year. I didn't need that anymore.
Coaches poll is back.
The coaches poll.
So once the coaches poll is revealed and the AP poll, as useless as it is revealed, you play the game that you used to play when we were good, which is to look at all the other teams in the same neighborhood. All right. What are we compared to Texas? Well, Texas got quarterback issues. I mean, Arch Manning, have you seen the Uncle Rico thing?
No.
Oh my God. It's the exact motion. It's hilarious. I'll show it to you during the break.
Okay.
There are memes everywhere. It's so good. It's the exact same crazy sorry throwing motion when he jumps off the porch and hits the guy, hits him on the bike. Anyhow, they have him and Arch Manning side by side throw. It's so good. Anyhow.
Well, yes, and we are not a quarterback-friendly defense.
So you look at Texas and you're like, I don't know, man. I mean, that's a team that was in the semis the last 2 years, and they seem to have some real issues right now. So I feel like, I don't know. I like our chances if we play Texas. And then you go and you look at the other teams and you go, well, I don't know what we are compared to, say, Texas A&M or Ole Miss, but I don't think it's a game we couldn't win. Then you start, again, you go through these teams and you're going, there may be two. I'm not saying that you look at every potential matchup and say, I know for a fact we would win, but rather you look at every single matchup and say, I don't know that we wouldn't. There's not some years you're good, but you're like, oh, we're not that tier good. We're good. We're really good. But if we played Ohio State, if we played Oregon, if we played Georgia, we'd get beat badly. Some years you would say that. I'm not saying I would say that this year at all, but I don't feel like college football is going through that year. It's going through a year where you go, you know what? Miami could be the best team in the country. Oregon could be the best team in the country. Ohio State could be the best team in the country. Penn State could be the best team in the country. I mean, Georgia, I suppose, could be the best team in the country.
Yep,
Oklahoma might be one of the best teams in the country. Florida State could be one of the best teams in the country. We don't know, but you can say it and it's not laughable.
Yeah.
You could say it and you could say it with a straight face and you could mean it.
Well, that's part of it. I find myself watching the best teams in the country right now when they're on or find their extended game, condensed games just to see. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing in our own backyard? That's the whole thing. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Because in 2013, we knew, even before the Clemson game, you knew there wasn't any question because there was a buildup. 2010 was a big step. 11 was kind of a half step back. 12, you didn't capitalize on a couple of opportunities that were right in front of your face, but you knew that roster was elite. You knew it. You absolutely knew. There was a crescendo that it was building towards, and it was, can this redshirt freshman quarterback not screw it up? And then we found out, oh no, he's going to elevate it. Not only is he not going to screw it up, he's going to elevate
make us better. Yeah.
This year you're coming off a 2-10, so you're like, what?
It's bizarre.
Is this real? And looking around the country, yeah, it feels like it's going to be real here.
So one of the problems is, like, even some of the teams that you might suspect as being a team that would be a problem for us, or a team that you might think in due time is going to prove to you that they're maybe much better than we are. So would you take a team like, or I'll use Oregon. You still can't know that, because so what, they pounded Northwestern, who didn't even really need to be on the same field. Oklahoma State's a program that didn't win a single conference game last year. They're awful. They're circling the drain. Everybody knows it. It's the end for Gundy. So they beat them 69-3. I don't know what that means. It's impressive to score 69 points because they scored 69 points in 3 quarters. They didn't even score in the fourth quarter. It's impressive. But Oklahoma State has quit.
That's us from last year. Yeah.
Yeah, just going through the motions. And then they beat Montana State to start the year. So I don't know. I suspect, my eyes tell me Oregon's really good. You look at the physicality of that team. You look at the athleticism of that team, and you think, yeah, they look really good. But, another example is a preseason darling like Penn State. Well, how do we know? I mean, we know Penn State's good, but to what degree? Because they killed Nevada, FIU, and Villanova? You don't know. And I don't trust James Franklin as far as I can throw him. Now, they do take on Oregon on the 27th of this month. So we'll get an answer from both those teams right off the bat. We'll find out. Okay, good. Now those two play. Ohio State's good because they've been an annual contender for almost all of your life. So they're good.
Every once in a while, I lose my stuff about that.
It pisses you off.
It really does.
Well, they are a remarkable
every year
definition of consistency. They at least have a win that seems like it matters, but what's Texas now? Texas just got done, really struggling with UTEP. So what's the 14-7 win over Texas mean from Ohio State? It might not mean as much as the year goes on. That said, Ohio State is good. They haven't had a setback. They do spend gobs of money on NIL, and they have the best receiver in the country. So they're good. Let's just wait and see. They've got Washington next. I guess a bye week for them this week.
Could be. That schedule of theirs never feels that difficult. The one thing I would give Urban Meyer is he would schedule pretty tough in the out-of-conference slate.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Ohio State did schedule Texas.
They did. I know.
I mean, if you're going to have it, I'll just say this, Tom, in fairness, and I'm not an Ohio State guy, but any season that Ohio State has Texas, Washington, Penn State, and Michigan on the schedule, you're like,
Get it. I get it. I've so fundamentally changed what I view Texas as right now that I think I feel like it was less of a test for Ohio State than Alabama was for us, if that makes sense.
The problem is Texas does, athlete for athlete, have one of the elite rosters in the country. Now, their quarterback appears to be a problem.
Sure.
But they have great players.
I could argue that Alabama is too. My point is that what we thought Ohio State was going to face, you're like, oh, God. That kid, he and Lagway are having very similar problems, sans turnovers, but where you think, I don't know, man, 3rd and 7, you might want to punt or call a draw.
What I don't understand and don't like if I were a Texas fan, and I'm not, and I don't care. So this will be fun to watch play out, and hopefully it spirals into into some sort of garbage season, that we're all sitting back afterwards going, oh my goodness. But I don't understand why Arch Manning is apologizing. It's not it tells me something I don't like about his mentality. That's all I'm saying. It's a weird thing. You're out here apologizing to the fans already? Come on, man.
That's also the same thing as Ty Simpson asking Nick Saban for advice on how to manage his emotions, which is why I think it's wonderful that he's doing what he's doing right now, but I want to see it in the Georgia game. Got to see it. I got to see it against a real opponent, because if he turtles again, then this was all just a very nice story, and it was great that he had his moment in the sun, but when he plays somebody of substance, then he turns into this other thing.
Here's the weird part about Ty Simpson's game against us, in fairness. I give us more credit than I do rip him. I give us the credit. And because I think that, there were some nice throws that his receivers dropped. Williams got spooked after he got drilled early in that game and proceeded to alligator arm and not play the way that he's capable of. And we got relentless pressure on him. And I think he got rattled in a road game in his first big start because of the relentless pressure. The stadium was really loud. We were very physical. His receivers didn't step up for him. His all-world left tackle got abused, scored very poorly when you look at those scores afterwards from PFF. And that's not all on him. Now, he missed some short throws that you got to have. But there were moments. I mean, obviously his athleticism shone through, gave him a chance. He converted some big plays with his legs and gave them opportunities. And since then, he's played really, really well. I just think he ran into a really good team in Tallahassee who put a lot of pressure on him and beat him up a little bit.
It could be that they're 2013 Clemson and we're 2013 Florida State.
You're
a very good team.
You're a very good team, just not a great team.
But we're elite.
Yeah, it could be.
Sorry about that, pal.
Well, and wouldn't that be great? Like that's what you'll go back and say at the end of the year. If they go on and let's say they beat Georgia. I will say this. What's going on with Kirby's defense? Now, we figure he'll get it fixed, but if you look at comparable numbers from this time last year, just in terms of pressure rates, average yards per play, all that something's wrong with Georgia's defense. It doesn't make any sense. They are having a very hard time getting to the passer. They gave up a ton of yards against Tennessee, who had all day. I don't know. We'll see what Georgia's. But what if Ty Simpson whoops that ass and throws it all around the lot?
Well, that is when you're already giving credit to us, and I think you're right to do that. But at that point, you go, what do we have here? What are we working with? Because that would be the day after the Virginia game that happens. So if he does that to Georgia's defense and we handle business at Virginia that whole week, you will feel even more confirmed in the way that you walk around town, the way that you hop in the car to drive up here. If you don't live in Tallahassee, you're going to feel like we're about to bring something that Miami's not ready for at that point.
Georgia has a bye this week before facing Alabama on the 27th, which we mentioned earlier, and I am eager to watch that game just for both sides. I really am. Also, by the way, Alabama has a bye this week before facing Georgia, so they're both on the same amount of rest. They'll both have healed up and been ready to go. So you're going to get what should be the best version of both teams when they face each other. That matters. I don't want any excuse making. No, we were hobbled. No. Here we go. Everybody's just as rested. Let's get it on.
So that 7:30 window includes both Penn State, Oregon, and Alabama and Georgia.
7:30 ABC.
Holy smokes. We'll divvy up the phones. One phone for me, one phone for you in terms of the games being on.
Yeah, that's that's right. Son of a... I was like, what is he talking about? I'm going to be watching my 100-inch television. What's he talking about? No, I won't. I'll be at the same wedding that you're at.
It's all right.
It is
sports
all right.
Fans,
what a wonderful
it'll be a fantastic day.
It will be a fantastic day. And they'll have a TV there. They know.
They know
what they've done.
I'll also be at the hotel earlier in the day because they're doing shuttles from the hotel, watching the Ryder Cup. So come on, join me.
Got it. Let's do it. I like it. Shannon Young has made a move to be part of the nation's longest mortgage company. Largest, not longest. That's doing something. Cross Country Mortgage. They would appreciate me saying that they're the longest mortgage company
across the country.
Yeah, it's true. What it means for you is better rates, better options, stronger support, faster response. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. This is really more about my man Shannon, who is, again, a relentless, goal-oriented individual. He's fantastic. He'll work really hard to get you the best loan options, obviously, to buy that dream home. He's smart. He's got a great attitude, relentless energy, all those things. Ethical, hardworking, everything you want. Loansforknowles.com, loansforknowles.com.
Still waiting on that load of laundry to finish? If your dryer is taking forever to dry your clothes, the problem might not be your machine. It could be a clogged dryer vent. J. Walker Enterprises specializes in professional dryer exhaust cleaning, improving dryer efficiency and helping protect your home from a potential fire hazard. Don't risk it. Contact J. Walker Enterprises today and breathe easier knowing your home is safer and your clothes will finally dry on time. Visit jwalkerenterprises.com, the company locals trust.
Cannonball! Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Make this summer a Swain summer. Choose Swain Pools and Spas for all your regular monthly or weekly scheduled pool maintenance, repairs, restoration, and renovation. Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee's pool everything store. Whether it's a deep clean, a resurfacing, or a full refresh, Swain's team will have you swimming, not skimming, in no time. Make a splash this summer and have a Swain summer. Find out all the ways Swain Pools and Spas can upgrade and maintain your backyard. Online at swainpools.com. That's swainpools.com.
The next 3 free Flow as your spas will be available half price. First come, first served.
Swain Pools and Spas. And right next to Swain Pools and Spas is Tallahassee Car Care, the only repair shop where you can take a dip while we repair your whip. Tallahassee Car Care, right next to Swain Pools and Spas.
This fall in Tallahassee, sink into a night of worship and wonder with the Grace and Glory Tour with Crowder.
So lay down your
Thursday, October 2nd at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Get ready for a night of grace and glory featuring passion music, Louis Giglio, Gary Bobby Carnes, and Cody Carnes. Thursday, October 2nd at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Come be part of something unforgettable. Get tickets now at tuckerciviccenter.com.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? It says, keep off the grass. Oh, but I just wanted to feel it. Excuse me? I wanted to feel what it was like to have an amazing lawn like you do. It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn. For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567. Stay off my lawn.
When you need the plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to wait?
Hey guys, we really need you over here. My toddler just flushed a whole bunch of toys down the toilet and everything, and I mean everything, is backing up.
2 hours?
Hey guys, just checking in. The water has reached the hallway now and it's getting pretty deep. Can you get here anytime soon?
4 hours?
Hey guys, can you please hurry? Now my wiener dog is doing the backstroke over here and they're not known to be strong swimmers. Hey honey, grab his life jacket.
8 hours?
Oh, so now you're here.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. Our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. And now M&L Plumbing can also be your go-to for all septic tank pump-out services. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing. Your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or online at mnlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Couple things here. I got a lot of catching up to do. One of them you'll see at the bottom of your screen, ISF. We'll get to ISF. It's all for the future in just a second. I do want to shout out our friends. Obviously, Tried and True Consulting, been a big-time partner here with us for a long time, and we've enjoyed getting to know each other, but also watching what they do out in the community. This happens really every couple of weeks. Don will come into town with his staff, and they will frequent businesses. They spend their money there, and they talk with people, consult with people about their processing payments and all those kinds of things, and also perhaps the possibility of throwing up an ad board or whatever else, right? Just getting to know the customers and getting to know the people. And it's been cool because he's been able to make a lot of friends. And I know he was at Summer Smokehouse today. They're not advertisers, and I've yet to be there. Everybody tells me great things about it, but I know that they were there today, and apparently there's some listeners there, Tom, and they recognized Don and Tried and True and Jeff Cameron Show connection, and they were all going to be listening today. I wanted to shout them out and say thanks, and glad you guys are getting together, and I hope it all works out. There you go.
I guess that means we'll see him this weekend at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And apparently Big O's Tires were there too, and they love the Jeff Cameron Show. So my goodness gracious, everybody. So jump on board, everybody. Let's go.
First one's free, people.
Well played. But I wanted to thank them, and I'm just glad that my guys at Tried and True are doing their thing out in the community again, because it's what they do, and it's working well.
Extremely engaged. They're good people.
And I should mention 844-464-6653, or you could just scan that QR code to look up Tried and True. All right. Another great relationship. Now we will solve for the future with our friends at ISF. Talk about them often because they partner with a lot of people here in this community as well and across the country. And they do so, I know, with the second harvest of the Big Bend. I know they do that, and they did that last year. And they did it not just collecting food for those that need, but they've also worked with the Guardian Ad Litem. Speaking of which, we'll have some dates to you in the near future about the bowling tournament for our friends at the Guardian Ad Litem. So we're really privileged to work with a lot of great people like our friends at ISF. Now, let's solve for the future. And I don't know that there's anything that is all that weighty to tackle involving solving for the future when it comes to this weekend's game. I suppose I'll throw it out to you. How much would you play your starters? I mean, that's really the biggest question we have. How much do you leave Tommy in? I mean, we did have a bye week. You got guys that are still learning these two different systems. I imagine they installed more during the bye week. They had a chance to take a breath and kind of say, all right, we're out the gates well, 2-0, got the win, all that stuff. You've played well, but there's more to what I do on offense. There's more to what Tony does on defense. So I wonder how much they rep it with their starters this weekend, because I would think that that's certainly one of the goals.
I think it's a sliding scale of the margin and where you are in the game in terms of what quarter, how much time is left. I think 28 at any point, if you can get there with the starters, then that's when you yank them off the field and you move forward. Kent State ain't coming back from 28. So, and Gus will still be aggressive with wave 2 and wave 3 on offense.
Right, that's the point.
And Tony will be aggressive with wave 2, wave 3 on defense. So it's not like the standard drops. It's just that perhaps the talent level does. And you might not as aggressively score points or go down the field. I think for me, what is worth solving or looking for this weekend, 3 places. Punt returner, because Mike brought up Deuce's name again, and he talked about Jabril Rawls as well. Not Jabril Rawls, Jalen Lucas.
Yeah.
At punt returner. And then on offense, a couple of position groups. Receiver, tight end, running back to a lesser degree. I think the defense is solved. You could put a period at the end of that sentence because they already threw 25 guys at Alabama. So they've got depth. Now it's just about competing for reps. On offense, you're still not solid at receiver 4. Loane McCoy is healthy. He's going to be on a pitch count this weekend. So watch for that pitch count when he gets on the field.
Probably what I'm most excited about, yeah.
So that's partially a solution there, but you're still looking for guys to contribute out of that receiver group that in case of emergency or injury, you're going to need to lean on. Ditto for tight end, Landon Thomas, Biscuit, Amari Williams, further strengthening whatever roles they're going to play when Randy Pittman comes back. And then running back with Roydell likely not available this weekend. I don't think he's going to play. So what does that room look like? That's the only thing. On offense, you got 3 positions, and then punt returner, I think, is the other thing to look at this weekend.
You brought up a point about this, the wave of players and how relentless they'll be when they come in. That's why I think that you're in good shape with this spread and the over as well. I mean, if we're just talking betting solving for the future, I would say that second strings in, we're still going to run the same way that we would have run the offense with the starters, and we've seen a real competition develop on offense and defense for playing time. These guys want to be out there, and their teammates root for them when they are, and they're not going to call plays differently until we get to the fourth quarter, I don't think.
I would agree. There's work to be done. I mean, if you just want to put it simply, for the backup quarterbacks, both of them. And I think Brock will come in first this weekend. I think that's the way they're going to play it. He's second line on the depth chart with the or. Well, Sperry was second line with the or before. So if you're looking at these things, they're wanting.
But Tom, remember he told you that depth charts don't matter.
They don't, except he changes them every week. And now they've added new positions on offense and defense. So now they got 12 or 13 deep. They've got work they want to do. Gus has a lot of things he wants to accomplish with Brock and with Kevin so that he knows if Tommy's unavailable for a stretch, who we going to go with and who looks the best in my offense. So, yeah, to keep the foot on the gas for the point totals, yes. But I think if they can get up 28 points in the first half, no mas. And then if it's in the second half, 24 at any point, you're all done with the starters.
For those wondering, that number is Florida State minus 44.5. minus 118 to the number there. It's 56.5 now is what that total has gone up to. 55 when you got it, Tommy?
55 and a hook. Yeah.
It's 56 and a hook now.
All
that
right.
matters, actually.
That does.
That one's crossing a line there. We'll see. But I absolutely love, speaking of solving for the future, that Sperry is very athletic, very mobile, and because this is not a complex offense to run, I'm not sure that it's appreciably different if he's running it for a short stretch of time than when Tommy runs it. Now, Tommy is the better athlete, is the better player to run this system. He's a more seasoned, polished quarterback. He knows Gus's system, and he is an elite runner. But I think over a short period of time, say a few series or a quarter or even a game, one game, it doesn't catch up to you as quickly not having Tommy at any point as it would if you had a quarterback who was the antithesis of your starter. And you see that sometimes where teams get trapped. They play one way with their starter, but the backup isn't that guy, can't do those things, doesn't possess even similar skill sets. That's poorly run when it's an NFL franchise that does that. Occasionally you see it. I always wonder how that's possible. Like, no, wouldn't you go get a clone, maybe a lesser clone to run this system? I mean, that's what Baltimore spent their life trying to do behind Lamar. But they kind of have a lesser version of Tommy behind him right now, and that's true of both guys. Brock is a mobile guy. He's not an elite runner. He's not as good a runner as Sperry, but he's not immobile. He can move. He can still make you pay if he pulls it. So your offense wouldn't appreciably change all that much when the second or third stringer comes in. It just wouldn't.
As long as you could run your base stuff
Right.
successfully. Yes, I would agree with that. The one thing that Tommy will do is sometimes he'll put you in a bad situation when you have a good call. And sometimes he'll get you out of a bad call and put you in a good situation.
100%. He does some things that are truly special with his feet. He does.
I don't think the other two guys can consistently do that. But
that's why I said over the long haul, it would
Yeah,
hurt you. But in
correct.
the short term, I don't think it would.
Or for if the one game is one of your marquee games. You're like, man, that is going to cost us
Sure,
at some point.
Sure.
But the battle is still raging. And that's great news. That we love that the defense is competing such that if a starter slips up this week, Tony will replace him with somebody who can play. And the backup quarterback battle is going to rage here. You might even see, and I saw Tony put it in the chat, could you see the primary backup work with the ones for a series or two? So Tommy comes off the field, and you put Brock or Kevin out there, and they get a series with everybody top to bottom from the ones for an in case of emergency drive, where you get a little bit of a game experience.
Don't hate it, buddy. That would be awesome. That reminds me of the old days where you would have backups getting real valuable time with starters to see what they are, give them the best chance to succeed, gain some confidence, get the fans excited about next year. All of that happens. That's not why they do it, but that's cool.
Frankly, that was one of the great parts of the NFL preseason, was you would see that, especially if you drafted a guy or you signed a guy and you really like his skill set. Yeah, the head coach would throw him out there with all the ones. That could be something we see. I like that, Tony Greco. That's a good suggestion for solving for the future. Maybe they do that.
You win, Tony. Cromwell getting 15 touches would be nice. And everybody loves Cromwell. We've already seen enough to get excited about. He's got a little something to him. Plus, that stern look on his face is enough for me to want him to be a badass so that we get to see more of it. Like, that guy just looks like he wants to punish at all times. It's beautiful. 15-plus carries, I'm in. I guess the only other aspect of this is the defense, and I think they're going to have their way. I want to continue to see that crop of linebackers rotate a lot. I hear that Caleb Lavallee is maybe back, ready to play.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, he dressed out this week. I know that. So I don't know if he's entirely ready to go, but he was back in pads, cleats on, ready to go. He's a guy who I think has potential. There are others there that I want to see play because the linebackers are being used better and differently than we've seen them in the past. Obviously, new defensive coordinator, and it's cool because you and I have desperately wanted to see good linebacker play, and it's nice to see people seek and destroy and have a lot of what for to them.
That's one thing I'm looking for defensively is also sticking to your job, not getting arrogant about the competition. Now that you've played a bad team, you have a bye week, you're playing another bad team. Here's a chance for a bad habit to rise to the surface for Tony to correct. I'm not saying that Kent State's offense is good. because they don't have the personnel. But the quarterback can complete a forward pass, and he's mobile. DeShields, this is the guy they went to halfway through the second quarter of the Texas A&M game, or Texas Tech game, excuse me. And last week you could see it as well. He's got a little what for to him. He's willing to trade a hit for a throw. So if you cheat, he might be able to expose something that might not go for a touchdown. It might go for a 20-yard play,
right.
But it's a teachable moment. Because that's the thing. With what Florida State has seen so far, a previous team couldn't pass at all. And then Simpson was kind of scared to pull the trigger on a couple of throws. They were open. They were there. He was scared to pull the trigger, or he wasn't accurate enough. I'd like to see a little bit more of a test for the secondary ahead of the Virginia game. So if they make a throw that looks like it's a well set up trick play, but you've got your corner where he needs to be, or the safety in a good spot to pick off the pass, there's another reason that you could walk out of the stadium and go, God, dog, they are buttoned up.
I love it. I love to think about working through and improving aspects of both offense and defense, getting a lot of reps for young players, and building towards that game against Miami without really fearing the result. So you're in a position to relax, have fun, watch good football, but really watch it with a critical eye to see who's emerging as well. By the way, our friends at ISF, making technology work for you, whether that's enterprise-wide or application-specific change, or technology experts turn innovation ideas into scalable and feasible solutions for your organization. You know that. Working together with ISF, you can design tailored improvements to your IT infrastructure. You can speak, Jeff, applications and data that drive your organization's success. Go check them out, isf.com, to learn more. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
After months of uncertainty, blankets, baby lotion, and towels. Donations will be accepted in the main lobby of TBD headquarters. This is Rachel Lene with your Roll Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Tallahassee weather report.
From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold. A warm lunch hour for us in the low 80s with sunny skies. We climb into the upper 80s and some low 90s as we head home from work today with an occasional cloud. The cooler morning trend is starting to abate, with lows slowly climbing into the mid-60s overnight. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Ryan Gold.
God gave us two ends, one to think with and one to sit on. Success in life depends on which one you use. Heads, you win. Tails, you lose. Hi, I'm Rick Hughes, host of The Flatline. Heard every Sunday morning here at 7:30 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3 Tallahassee Real Talk Station. Come join me 30 minutes of motivation, inspiration, and some education as I seek to reveal God's plan by teaching 10 unique problem-solving devices. Every Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m., 93.3 Real Talk Tallahassee.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Dust.
Special guests, Ashley Cook and Cassie Ashton. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. With Parker McCollum Live.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
By the way, we had a very quick, and I'll make this very brief because it's not worth our time, but it was a JCS PR firm moment. Just you wonder, you marvel when people make decisions the way that they do, and you think, buddy, in no world could you have thought this was a good idea. I can't fathom where this would have entered your mind as a good decision. I'm sure by now you've seen Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray having to apologize. He didn't have to. He did apologize yesterday for a social media post. A really stupid social media post. It's him with his two American Bulldogs while shot from behind wearing a Michael Vick jersey, prominently Michael Vick jersey. Of course, Michael Vick spent 21 months in prison for murdering dogs and running a dogfighting operation across 2 states. He faced a little backlash for that as folks reminded him on his social media posts. And then he said, in no way, shape, or form do I condone animal cruelty or dogfighting. He goes on to say, they both get treated like kings, my dogs do, so it's not in no way, shape, or form that I was condoning that. I see now that it affected people, that the picture I took with my Michael Vick jersey, so I apologize to anybody that I affected. Okay, look, whatever. The point is, that's just dumbassery of the highest level. Like, if you're a PR firm guy, and you and I own it, you're with me as a partner, buddy, we can't help somebody in this situation because they acted without consulting. But that's a lack of common sense. That's just like, my man, you know what you're doing there. What are you doing?
I don't know that he did.
If I should. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. You look at the pictures, it's carefully crafted.
Huh.
He did. He knew what he was doing. He's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. And it just makes zero sense. But
well, he ain't my quarterback.
No, and he's not a very good quarterback. But the point is, I just like, man, what would the JCS PR firm do is what I ask in these situations when people get, into a little bit of hot water. I always think, well, I actually can't help the guy who doesn't have common sense. I can go back and retrospectively say, all right, well, here's the lie we'll tell, or here's the placard that says do this. That's like all I can do. Yeah, you shaking your head. Yeah. That would be you and me in the office. Like, what are we going to do?
I dropped the client. There's some clients that you just drop.
Can't help them.
I don't know, man.
You can't help. I can't help you.
Tweet through it, pal. There's my advice. Good luck to you.
I can't. I can't help you, man. And we've had some tough clients. You and I've argued over some clients to take over the years.
That's correct. There are some that I would not. Yes. Now, if you ask me to put on general manager of the NFL cap, very different discussion.
Very different discussion. We've done this before,
and it's a statement on the culture of the NFL and that part of it. But yeah, that's a
front offices who will take anybody. Yes.
I got to save my job. I got no choice because somebody else will sign this multi-time felon because he's cleared. He's off the commissioner's list. So I need to take that guy. But as the PR firm, we made our money at the JCS PR firm. We could be a little choosy.
Yeah, a little bit more choosy. I find this interesting. I pivot to a simpler story, but one that makes me smile in this way, and I'll explain. The Miami Hurricanes are going to build an on-campus statue, 2 of them. One is for Heisman winner Vinny Testaverde. Okay. The other is for Heisman winner Gino Torretta. We're going to have a statue of Gino Torretta out here.
Are they going to put it outside of their football stadium?
the 70-yard practice facility? Yeah, no.
Their on-campus stadium? Is that where these are going?
They received a significant donation, and they're going to build the 2 statues for $1.8 million. And fine, they're honoring their Heisman Trophy winners in that way. Gino Torretta had no business winning the Heisman. But he did. And if you're a Miami fan, you're going to say, but he did. I'm like, come on, man. Every single player on that team, certainly every starter on that team was better than Gino Torretta. Gino Torretta was the weak link on the team. Put up gaudy numbers because of it, though. He was surrounded by greatness, no doubt. But it's hard when you see a Gino Torretta statue not to chuckle. Now, I will tell you this. I've met Gino Torretta, and anybody that has will tell you he's one of the nicest guys in the world. And I've also been told that he kind of knows that he had no business winning the Heisman Trophy. So that makes me like him. Like, if you're self-aware enough to know, like, come on, man.
Maybe he can strike the all shucks pose.
Yeah, you're like, come on, buddy.
That could be the statue.
That's like Ken Dorsey. You're like, Ken Dorsey. Come on, Ken. What are we doing out here, buddy? Well, come on now. Yeah, so there's that. $1.8 million for at least half of that going to a Gino Torretta statue.
$1.8 million. Will they ever have an on-campus stadium? Lee Sterling would know the answer to that.
They fight about this all the time. Like the fan base fights amongst each other about this all the time.
Like USF is about to get one.
Yeah.
They can't do it?
Well,
do they not have enough land?
Yeah,
is it a land problem?
It's a land problem in a neighborhood by where they would want to build it. That's a problem that they don't want it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. It's tough.
It's a shame.
What a tragedy, Tom. I thought you'd like to know also, this has nothing to do with nothing, but before we end up going to probables and all that good stuff, Sengatime may not be pitching in the postseason. Mets came out today and said,
Well, he has a rehab start. Well, not a rehab, but he has a demoted start at AAA today.
Well,
what do they say?
They're just talking about whether or not they even want him to come back.
What did they say? Was it Mendoza?
There's he said, well, we'll have to have a conversation, and certainly we're going to take the 13 guys that we feel give us the best chance to win.
Jesus, okay.
I mean, that's pretty cold-blooded. Then he went on to say, the big thing for him right now is to have a good performance the next time he pitches.
That's today.
So that's a tryout.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. This is it. He just basically told him this is a tryout.
We've got a lot of bums. I said for a long time that one of the great rivalries in professional sports is the New Orleans Saints versus the salary cap. Right. That is a great rivalry.
It's been long-standing.
Mets starting pitching versus the fifth inning is also a great rivalry. So, because he threw 6 innings of 1-run ball in his last AAA start.
I think that the baseball gods desperately want your Mets to make the playoffs because every time you lose, the team that needs to lose also loses. Yeah. Like, they never catch you when you lose. It's crazy.
Hey, I'm telling you, the second half of the Monday Night Football game, Bucs-Texans, is a 1-hour microcosm of what it's felt like to be a Mets fan the last 2 or 3 months. You're like, I don't think we got enough gas to make it to the station. I think we're going to have to pull over and hoof it with a gas can. I don't think we're going to make it there.
By the way, he didn't start today.
No, for AAA. I'm saying,
for his AAA
today is
start.
AAA
I was gonna
demoted
say,
start number 2.
Okay.
Because he threw 6 innings of 1-run ball in his last AAA start.
Well, you guys are killing the Padres again.
Thank God. Yeah, we need 84 wins, I think, gets it done. 85 will definitely get it done.
Let's do some probables and get to these pitchers right now.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Rays lead the Jays 4-0. That game in the 9th inning. Chris Bassett started for the Blue Jays. Shane Baz starting for the Rays. Cleveland leads Detroit. Look out. That's starting to get weird. 2 weeks ago, Detroit was up by almost double-digit games. I think it's 3.5. Will be cut to 2.5. Skubal started today, and they're down 3-1 in the 9th.
So if that happens, I think that's 11 of 12 winners for Cleveland, and it would be 7-15 in 22 for Detroit, something like that. It's absurd.
It's all getting weird, man. Tanner Bibby started that game for the Guardians. The Tigers started, Tariq Skubal kind of thought that they were going to get a win, but oopsie. Padres Mets, aforementioned. Mets kicking the Padres' teeth the second consecutive day. Some dude named Jonah Tong got the start for the Mets.
That's a kid. He had an 8 ERA through 3 major league starts, but he did okay today.
He did great today. Padres started Randy Vasquez at 6-1 Mets. That game is going to the 9th. We got the A's and the Red Sox. Red Sox down 5-3. Can't afford to lose these games to the A's, but they are today. JT Ginn going for the Athletics. Brian Bayo going for the Red Sox. Mariners and the Royals are in the 8th inning. It's 1-0. A pitcher's duel. Kansas City leads Seattle 1-0. Luis Castillo going for the Mariners. Stephen Kolek for the Royals. Marlins Rockies in a game nobody cares about. Sandy Alcantara going for the Marlins. They wanted to trade him, but they couldn't because he sucked before the break, so they had to wear it. He's going to finish the year with an ERA close to 6. Rockies, Tanner Gordon. Yankees, O's. Let's go O's. Max Fried pitching for the Yankees. He's good. 17-game winner this year. Cade Povich going for the Orioles. Cubs, Reds, Colin Ray, Hunter Green. Angels, Brewers. Yusakaguchi. Quinn Priester goes for the Brewers. He's a former Pirate. He, too, is really good. We didn't need him. He's just 13-2 with a 3.2. Giants, Dodgers, they hate each other. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Logan Webb goes for the Giants.
Let's go Dodgers.
It hurts to hear you talk like that.
For the moment.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And no, I'm not Japanese. Goes for the Dodgers. That is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
Bend over.
That was well done, sir.
I got some timing.
That was well done. Want to read you something depressing. Here you go, right before we say goodbye for the day. Baseball fans who grew up on 20-game winners understand, sometimes with much chagrin, sometimes with more emphatic degrees of horror, that the expectations for a starting pitcher are much different in 2025 than they were, say, just 10 years ago, certainly 20 or 30 years ago. The complete game is all but dead. No pitcher has more than one 9-inning complete game this year. 100 pitches is now viewed as a deep outing, most you can do. Randy Johnson had more 110-pitch outings in 1993 than every starter in the major leagues combined this year.
Holy cow. It's a plague.
Pitchers get more days off between starts. 40 years ago in 1985, which hurts my feelings to know that that was 40 years ago. 20-year-old right-hander Dwight Gooden, you may have heard of him, lived around the corner from me, in fact, went 24-4. He went 24-4 with a 1.53 ERA. Jesus. He had 16 complete games that year. John Tudor, a left-hander, went 21-8 that year with a 1.93. Had 14 complete games. Paul Skeens is the closest thing you got, and he's not close. It's crazy. Good work out of you, sir. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the football. I'll be back with you tomorrow. So will he, and it's a Libations Friday. We'll all be together. It'll be fun. Peace.
Bend over.